Well, yeah, I don't. Do I really have to watch it? I'd rather watch the Pegasus breakdown just to see what his thoughts on it, because I already made up my mind. I already fucking. The whole thing was fucking dentage. I mean, at the end of the day, it was dentage, but at the same time, I still think Ethan kind of pulled out ahead, even given what the fucking whole thing was about. He pulled out just a tiny bit, Even though man, the way he went about it though was kind of stupid. But Hasan reacted right. They were basically fighting fire with fire. And it's just like when you have two people doing that, it's like, well, that's on them. Is this the one? Who Dono sound just dropped?
You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're hyping up that dude is because you don't give a fuck. All you care about is petty drama. This is your only content. Stop doing.
I don't know where he got that. I don't.
Petty drama content. Shut the fuck up about politics.
Yeah, it looks like he does watch his channel, I guess. No, given.
And get back to goofs and gaffs, and it will be fine. People will forget that you have behaved in this way, but you don't want to do that. It's become a fucking personal agenda for you that people don't like you. It must be anti-Semitism. No, they don't like you because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's just dreaming. Wakey, wakey. Oh no, it's just dreaming. It's okay.
Have to be babied by goddamn producers as a 40-year-old adult. That's the reason why people don't like it.
Very good. Very good. Now, why don't you watch Bad Empanadas videos about you?
Because he's pro-Palestine, and I don't give a fuck about.
He was criticizing you.
Palestine,
oh, you're
and
such
I don't
a
care
coward,
about the
Hasan.
difference in methods that we have.
All right, very good. I'm out of my depth. I shouldn't talk about
the movement. And if you were pro-Palestine, I would never talk about you either. That's the real reason.
Uh-oh.
The son just sounds like he's just raising his voice at a father, and it's just like, okay, being weird. I mean, then again, they were both
separate countries.
Their voices.
He would laugh
your
at you.
failure
Do you not understand?
to acknowledge the trauma of both groups is the reason why you are a radical fucking propagandist liar.
Okay, there.
Both trauma needs to be acknowledged by both groups. There's two things that need to be true for this ever to be resolved peacefully.
You're right.
Palestinian self-determination and Israel's right to have secure borders.
Zionism
as long as you ignore that, there will always be war. Palestinians will always die, and you will continue to make money from it. I'm not defending the Nakba.
From separate countries, he would laugh.
It is true. He is making money off the whole war and everything. Then again, all these people are, right? Fucking Twitch stream, right? Content creators who are just making content. Well, I mean, let's let's just say half of them are not making the money for themselves, but they're making it for one of the people they hired and shit. So it's like, it's a business, okay? It's fucking, what do you want? I don't know what to tell you. People do this shit all the time. Ever since YouTube came about, right, back in, what, 2009, 2008? It was bound to happen, right? I mean, if people, I mean, you can see people profiting off racism right now, in a sense. With those two cases of Carmelo Anthony and fucking that one person, the one lady who called out that kid, said the N-word, right? Yeah, but yeah. The whole Ethan Klein versus Hasan Piker thing is so fucking funny. Two retards fighting. Yeah, in a sense. Uh-oh. Dick Tone coming in with a meme. What do we got here? Fucking so stupid. So fucking stupid. That was yesterday. Oh, is there anything new? Are there people still talking about it? Well, finish the Ethan versus Hasan debate. Sum it up. Ethan, when he's wrong. Yeah, you're correct. I was wrong. That's on me. You're literally delusional. Yeah. But yeah, basically. Yeah, he can never concede that he was ever wrong. He always has to be right. Right. He's always correct. He's always righteous. He's fighting the good cause. Propagandist through and through. You might as well just put the fucking the hammer and sickle and the red star behind him. Oh wait, I have a good picture of that too, I think. Hold on. Someone drew up a animation or a pencil art. What is it? Here it is. Oh, there's our nice commie Hasan. Oh, look at that. Got his chain and everything. He should have been drawn with like a Gucci bag, right? Alright, anyways. Jeez. That's fucked up. Yeah, kind of. Which one is this
countries, one? He would laugh at you.
Failure
Do you not understand?
to acknowledge the trauma of both.
Oh, both. Yeah, that. Yeah. I already know about that one. This is just live footage of a nurse trying to convince a demented patient to take his medication. About 25 hours into this debate, and yeah. Oh, fuck. Watching this Hasan versus Zionist Ethan Klein debate on acid must go crazy. Holy shit, not even hiding the racism of the fact that you think Ethan versus Hasan is Jews versus Muslim in your own words. Genocidal. Yeah, I mean, given the fact that Hasan was like, yeah, he threw out the racism card. That shit was so funny. Oh my god, he threw out the fucking racism card. Yeah, I mean, I think Hasan was throwing out a bunch of cards, and it was weird. Versus Ethan, he wasn't throwing that many cards. He was throwing jabs though. He was throwing some shade. He was obviously trying to fuck with Hasan. It was just a dream. It's all made up. Just trust me, bro. Of course, I made it the fuck up. Ethan versus on your gaslighting. Well, you're dog whistling. Well, that's a that's a microaggression. Oh, fuck. It was hilarious.
I'm going to solve.
You?
Did you just use a term that excludes women from an occupation?
Okay, let's back up.
No, you're supposed to believe all women. Oh yeah? Well, you're blaming the victim. Hey, that's the soft bigotry of low expectation.
Are you purposefully trying to use words that assert your male privilege? Dude, bro!
I got a headache watching this shit. Hasan keeps babbling on and on. His tactics is really making the video so unbearable to watch that he thinks he won. Yeah, that was so stupid, whatever he was trying to do. It made no sense to do that. Like, it just makes you look bad, right? It makes you just be a fucking idiot. It just makes you spout disinformation and misinformation all the time. It just makes you sound like you're just a lying fuckhead. Needs to get fucking piked. It's in his name. Like, fucking can't help myself. I mean, the dude also has a stick up his ass too, especially when he does that shit. Motherfucker acts like he's the gatekeeper of all knowledge and information to do with the geopolitics of everything in the world. Motherfucker has to morally grandstand on everything, that he's the better person in some form or fashion. It's like, yes, we get it. You're an ambitious fuckhead. We get it. Or not really ambitious. You're just a grifter, right? You're no better than, right, every other influencer, right? Spouting all that game. Got a bunch of people wanting to suck his dick, right? Well, obviously people are gonna fucking like him. Alright, anyways. Let's see. Oh, wait. I guess we should watch it. Fuck. Oh, the pain and suffering. Okay, here we go. I don't remember where we left off. I forgot to save the spot. I think we were, like, back here more, though. Oh, actually, wait. I thought we were at, like, 3 or 4. I guess we weren't. I guess we were ahead more. Oh, okay, so this is the Houthis one. Okay, let's just go back here.
You know, that was awesome. Active resistance, probably not. Right?
Probably not. Can you explain to me what you would do? What would you do?
Oh yeah, this is where he's like, yeah, you not take hostages and shit.
Going that straight, but they're doing it insanely fucking stupid. They're stopping unaffiliated ships and they're kidnapping unaffiliated people. How is that good?
Okay, yeah, we heard this one
by the way. But even that, the civilians, okay, impact the civilians. Do you feel like that kind of resistance was unwarranted?
It's completely irrelevant. Why did they hold them for a year?
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah,
they're terrorists.
Too.
What? Because they're terrorists.
Yeah, they're terrorists. They kidnap innocent civilians.
Yeah, right, for the fact that Hasan's trying to defend this shit, it's like, yeah, that's another thing. He's trying to defend just a fucking horrific terroristic behavior. Fucking taking people hostage at gunpoint. Right? If they're willing to do that, they're willing to pull the trigger, right? Like I said, they're already pointing the fucking gun at you. They're willing to pull the trigger whenever they feel like it.
Are they? So the people that are resisting against the Israeli genocide that you call a genocide are actually terrorists.
Oh yeah, and then he tries to flip it by being like, but the Israelis. And it's just like, dude, we're talking about the Houthis, not the Israelis. And it's just like, dude, why do you keep bringing back an old subject?
Because you don't agree with their fucking methods. Well, you have no way. You have no alternative. You have no alternative.
That's not true. I say just don't kidnap innocent people.
Nothing else.
It's easy. Just don't kidnap innocent people. They could have done that, right? They could have taken the boat. They could have commandeered the boat and not kidnapped people, right? Oh, is that possible?
Okay, fair. Do you think that warrants the standard of?
Yeah, it's so weird that he doesn't, like, every time he brings up a solution to the whole thing, Hasan doesn't want to acknowledge it for some reason, right? Right there. And then he finally acknowledges it. Because he knows that he lost there. It's so weird how he's trying to backpedal everything now.
Of saying that one of the only groups
this is why he's really fucking unreliable.
Doing militancy against.
This is why even though they're both shit slinging at each other, fucking Ethan's more reliable than this fucking retard who plays a shtick all the fucking time.
Against Israel's genocide, which they stopped, by the way. They literally stopped when Israel actually followed through on a ceasefire.
Why do you think so many people get? Why do you think so many influencers get fucking targeted?
Ships because they're pirates. They want to live the pirate life. Then obviously they wouldn't have stopped doing that, don't you think? They only started their blockade after Israel started starving Gaza again.
Spelled this shit like gospel. When the shit doesn't go your way.
I don't think you want to go down this route.
Just like, oh yeah, I didn't say that.
Is Israel terrorist?
Fucking wipe it from your memory like it didn't fucking happen.
Is the IDF terrorist?
I mean, it's an army, so it's a different thing. It's like
why is it a different thing? You think the Ansar movement doesn't have a standing army? They have an army.
The Houthis did like a hostile takeover of like a portion of Yemen. They're at odds with the government. It's different. They also own slaves, by the way.
We're going to talk about the Ansar movement.
But I'll say yeah, Israel. The IDF is terrorist. Yes, the IDF is terrorism.
Hold on. Talk to me about how the Ansar Allah movement actually came to power without getting any notes from your Discord or anything like that.
Oh yeah, this is where I was like, okay, well, if you're going to call every military, right, everybody who's a part of any nation's military, that they're a terrorist, I mean, that's kind of like, you're just gonna do that weird generalization. You know why these countries have armies. So why the fuck are you trying to... See, this is weird about Hasan. He tries to do this weird shit. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? How unauthentic, huh?
Actually came to power.
I don't know.
What?
I do not know.
You don't know?
Yeah, you should try saying that sometimes.
Because in your video, you also used a lot of Saudi
and the funny thing is, he rags on the army so much, yet if the army didn't exist, his life would be fucked. Everyone's life would be fucked, by the way. If no army was around, everyone would be fucked. Because then you would just have the government exerting their fucking crazy-ass power.
Like, these guys are actually doing slavery.
Give me
and
one.
it turned out that actually...
Give me the Saudi outlets.
The videos that you
Because even the army, even those people, right, they're still
human. In the fucking poorest country on the planet.
The Houthis have slaves. That's not even contested.
They weren't the ones who were doing the slavery, according to your own fucking video, but you still used it.
The Houthis have slaves,
Saudi
undisputed.
propaganda papers that at a time when
Saudi
Arabia was doing a
the
fucking
Houthis
genocide.
having slaves and kidnapping innocents. It's just so unnecessary.
What are you talking about,
Just acknowledge
dude?
that they do terrible shit.
The Saudi-backed government was the one that was actually doing slavery.
No, well, if they did, then the Houthis also have slaves. That's just a statement of fact.
No, the Houthis don't have shit. Okay,
they don't have shit. They don't have slaves. They don't even have slaves. They don't even have food. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not the point I'm making. They are the poorest country on the planet that just came out of a man-made famine.
How's that blockade, by the way, helping the country?
Saudi Arabia
How is the blockade helping the famine in Yemen? How's the blockade helping the famine in Yemen?
There is, as far as I understand, there's no longer a famine in Yemen. I'm talking about before, because you talked about how you were a regional expert.
What is blockading doing for the poorest country on earth?
And their violent takeover of Yemen. So I was like trying to figure out what you know about this. Maybe you know something that I don't know. So I was trying to pick your brain a little bit.
Now they're trying to talk about the history of the Yemenis, I guess here. But Hasan does it in such a disingenuous way. I can't take his word for it, because the way he's going about it, he already sounded like a fucking weirdo throughout this whole thing. Like, how can I believe all the information he's saying?
Shit.
Sure, I don't know about this specific thing. Tell me why it matters.
Why it matters? What their blockade?
Yeah, clearly.
Their blockade is. Their blockade is awesome.
Why it matters? How they came to power.
Oh, because you used Saudi newspapers in the time when Saudi Arabia, according to Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, all fucking NGOs, was doing a Western-backed blockade that was...
Okay, now he's reading off something. I know what he's reading off someone's... I don't know why he doesn't just, give the link or something. I don't know. But
killing hundreds of thousands of people, and the headlines that you used in your context were from Al Arabiya and numerous other outlets that had their own personal investment in vilifying the Ansar Allah movement. Having said that, of course, I also think that there are plenty to criticize about the Ansar Allah movement. I don't agree with everything that they're fucking doing, as I've said time and time again, like their banner, right? Their banner says first the Jews, which you also presented in your video. Except, remember when you talked about Norm Finkelstein? And how Norm Finkelstein doesn't agree with From the River to the Sea,
you
Palestine
agree with kidnapping civilians.
Can we play the clip of Norm Finkelstein talking about the curse the Jews
and Hasan,
what he thinks about that?
You're a fucking weirdo.
That. Let's pull up the clip of Norm Finkelstein's
I mean,
thoughts.
then again, everyone...
How is that relevant?
How's that relevant?
You say that, but there's actually a bunch of people in this chat who fucking thirst over it. Right? There's journalists people that thirst over him. There's what's that? Melissa Mercanti. Fucking thirst over him. Yeah, there's some other women journalists who are fucking retarded, basically, who try to destroy the video game space. I love Hasan.
Against these, you used him as a primary source earlier because you thought, he's a reputable guy, which I think I agree.
He said something that I've said that I've been criticized for. What does that have to do with every other take he's taken? It doesn't mean that I support that. Like we're aligned with every other take in the world.
Dan, can you play this clip real quick? Sorry, this is 50 seconds.
It's irrelevant.
I passed it along.
It's totally irrelevant.
What do you mean it's irrelevant?
Because who gives a fuck what he said about it?
Wait, what do you mean?
You want to talk about? Here, listen.
You use his perspective on From the River to the Sea to imply that he agrees with you.
He does.
I want to see if you agree with him on this.
Yeah, I thought this was supposed to be the Houthis, but he keeps bringing up Israel, so it's kind of like So what is the topic here? Are we talking about Israel or are we talking about? Okay. Sorry, I had to use just so we can get the information quick. Also the sources they use: Wikipedia, Human Rights International. Looks like some web source, or organization, humanitarian organization, or BBC, stuff like that. Anyways. Yeah. 2015 blockade imposed by Saudi-led coalition. Event change. Severe import restrictions. Humanitarian crisis. November 2017. Total closure after Houthi missile attack. All ports closed briefly, then partial reopening. Late 2017 is amazing for humanitarian aid. Commercial imports still heavily restricted. Saudi Arabia claims blockade ended. Delays and restricts persist. UN truce. Some easing of fuel restrictions. Humanitarian situation slightly improved. Restrictions remain, especially in Houthi-controlled areas. Ongoing crisis. Millions food insecure. So, he says there's no famine, but they don't have a secure source of food. So that's not really good. Right, that could go, either way, right? So even then, he's not being truthful here. Widespread famine, malnutrition, and outbreaks of disease like area. Well, I mean, it says famine, so. Human Rights Watch, Relief Web. When was this? This was, the last time was 2022. There's been no reports otherwise. I mean, I guess we can look at Wikipedia. We're talking about Hasan's what? You're a fucking weirdo. Are you okay? Are you okay up in there in the head? I get you like dick in the mouth, but are you okay? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you need to see a therapist? There's a great therapist online you can see. I can point. I'm sorry. I'm being a jackass. Well, not really. Because you're being fucking weird.
All right, I'll play it.
Thank you.
So here, I'm going to play it, okay? And then when this is done, let's move on to something I know we both want to talk about. You claim, I'm going to play it. I just want to set this up. You claimed that the worst thing I said in the context, puke, is that I wrongfully portrayed Jewish people fleeing from their countries. And I denied the Nakba somehow, which is crazy. So let's talk about that after this clip.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
And
by the way,
you're not going to scare us. You're not going to.
I'll just say up front, we can end on that point. You know.
Oh, I can keep going all
I'm
day
sure you
if you
can.
want to.
Yeah, I know. I know you go to bed tonight in a cool race car bed, but I have family.
Okay,
kids.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, then he does that shit right there. Does that jab right there about the family thing.
Why are you thinking about what my bedroom looks like? It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah. No, you're right. You fucking badass fucking sports car bed. It's a meme.
Very odd.
Here it
As
is.
long as the people in Gaza are subjected to a genocide, we won't stop. Do you know all the praise that's given to the Danish government? Because it
Hasan
helped
doesn't,
evacuate
he
Jews during
fucking
World War
deflects
II.
and doesn't
But is
play
there a
into it.
case where a totally distant people did that for the people of Gaza? If I were to give a Nobel Peace Prize, I would divide it between three. South African delegation. Number two, those doctors who volunteered to go to Gaza, the Doctors Without Borders and others. One doctor, he was Palestinian. Why don't you leave? Because he had the option. He was able to go. He said, I didn't go to medical school for 30 years to abandon my people. He was killed. And the third, it's the Houthis. If genocide is the crime of crimes, the Houthis are the hero of heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the first two examples, I definitely agree. I think it's psychotic to give the Houthis a peace prize. That's
Why?
nuts. Because what the fuck have they done for peace other than kidnap innocent civilians? What have they done for their own populace? This is, as you said, the poorest country on earth.
That is
Wait. What? I'm sorry. Are we just gonna give out Nobel Peace Prizes to anyone now? Well, I mean, actually, that actually does happen nowadays.
What are they doing for peace?
Well, I mean, the Nobel Peace Prize used to stand for
What's this have
something.
to do with
Nowadays, I don't know how
for
much
Israel
it stands for.
as it has implemented a genocide.
All right, let's give them a peace prize. Whatever, I don't care. Let's give them a peace
I think
prize.
they deserve it.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah. Wait, also,
don't ask the unaffiliated prisoners who were held for a year though, if they do.
No, I don't. I think you're missing the broader point here. You're missing the forest for the trees.
Right.
Here, I'll give you a great example of this, by the way.
Yes, the forest and the trees of kidnapping people and then at gunpoint and then doing horrific things to them. Yeah.
Because you spent a lot of time being like, the Houthis are bad. They're homophobic. I'm like, I'm sure they are.
What?
Holy shit. Also, Dana.
Homophobic? Never said that. Now he's just putting fucking words in Ethan's mouth, as usual.
Keep switching back to me on my end. Sorry.
Let's talk about the issue of the Nakba and stuff.
Okay, hold on. I know you keep saying, oh, it doesn't matter. This is boring. Whenever you come across a
it's
point
irrelevant,
that you have to admit
and you
is
just
wrong.
talk and talk and talk. It makes the video unwatchable.
You said the Houthis are the Houthis.
Yeah,
are
this is where
they're homophobic. They hate women. All this shit. Right?
Yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of
this is where it gets a little weird because I don't think has Ethan ever said that about the Houthis. I don't think so. So why does he say that?
of that is correct. Of course it is. It is the fucking poorest nation on the planet, and all it is known is fucking death and destruction. This doesn't justify having that sort of opinion, of course, but it certainly understands, don't you think? Certainly is part of the point, part of the problem. And the best,
I mean, he already lost his argument when he just started calling fucking Ethan homophobic and barbaric for some reason. I still don't understand why he said that.
civil rights movement to give gays rights would probably be to stop fucking bombing them, as Joe Biden did and as Donald Trump has done.
Yeah, that wasn't my chief criticism. Man.
Oh, again, that's why he brought Donald Trump. He's mad about the whole transgender executive order thing that happened. Just a little sprinkle of information for some reason. I don't know why he brought that up. I don't. I guess he's trying to label Ethan as someone who's homophobic and barbaric and doesn't care about people, right? I guess that's why. It's so stupid.
Criticisms that they are kidnapping civilians.
Yeah, I know. You don't like their methods, but you have no alternative method.
I said just do it without kidnapping civilians, dude. It's not rocket science.
Let's get back to the IDF.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, and then when he gives a solution, he doesn't give another solution, right? He thinks it's okay to do horrific acts to people. So that means he's okay with someone doing a horrific act to him, in a sense. You know where this is going, right? It's not good.
You said the IDF is maybe not a terror organization.
Oh, look at this.
The IDF is a terror
I didn't even know he had a rifle.
Wrong again. I'll lie.
Oh,
okay, so you think
I didn't even know he was a... He actually likes guns. Holy shit, wow. I thought he was a commie.
Terrorist organization.
I said yes.
You believe
I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even know if that's a real firearm.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looks like it, but hard to tell.
Not.
You have considered a 19-year-old Yemeni TikToker who is not even a part of the Al-Houthi family with no Houthi affiliation, but simply a person that says he stands with the Houthis. And I do too, a terrorist over and over again because he has a gun in the second highest gun ownership.
Oh, now he's talking about, yeah, okay, so he's talking about the kid now. Right. Yeah, it's hard to tell who he keeps talking about because he never he keeps blabbling on about information, but he doesn't say the name of the person he's talking about. So it's like, what are you saying, dude? Where is it? Where is that fucking retard? The dude who was seen on a boat taking it over, literally. He was literally on it. His face plastered all over the camera. Is that at the bottom? Mm-hmm. You're seeing all the meme photos. What's this one? Oh, this is where Vitali is. In that fucking prison. Oh, something close to it. Maybe it's towards the top mark. Oh yeah, here he is. There he is. Oh yeah, right here. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, this is the Galaxy Maritime thing that they took over. Yeah. It's funny when he tries to fucking defend this. I think it's later. But yeah, when he tries to defend this shit, it's so fucking hilarious. It's like, dude, you're a fucking terrible person. Fucking idiot. And then this is their flag, by the way. So, yeah. I thought I had some quotes from him. From, like, Twitter. Oh no, that's someone from Twitch. No, I can't find it. Oh, was that it? Yeah, there it is. This is the guy Hasan is trying to defend. This was on Twitter. I don't know if he still has the same Twitter handle.
Density per capita, and because he responded to a fucking Instagram comment saying he's a soldier, a dude who doesn't even speak English.
Let's watch this.
You kept claiming that he was a terrorist over and over again.
He is.
His name is.
I mean, he showed up on
He's not even a fucking Zaidi Shia. He's not even a part of the Houthi family.
Let's watch that evidence.
But he showed up on a boat.
Okay.
Let's watch
that. Looked like he would. It seemed like he was taking over.
You looked at a 19-year-old fucking teenager who's a TikToker,
terrorist,
in the poorest country on the planet, who's only known death and destruction, and spent countless fucking hours looking through whatever his social media was to be like, this guy is bad. This guy's fucked up. Yeah, of course he's fucked up. He lives in goddamn Yemen.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is?
Like you, dumbass.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations
is? Yeah, it's so weird how he's trying to defend horrific
or he hates
shit.
Jewish people. Let's watch.
Ready? No,
let me
it's
show
not because
you
he's poor that he hates Jewish people. It's because he lives in fucking Yemen, and in that part of the world, the only thing that people
see
is
all
the dangerous
heated
inflation
here.
of Zionism and Judaism.
I'm sure
it's funny because why is he trying to?
Schools have a Star of David next to them, and when
I don't know why he's trying to run so much defense for this kid. It's fucking hilarious though, because it just makes him look bad. He doesn't have to. He could have just said, "I don't defend this kid," and that would have been that. But no, he just keeps going on and on and on. It's like, ew, okay.
When the Palestinians are kidnapped, when they're fucking forced to go through military trial detention, they get fucking stars of David carved on their heads.
You just use a term that excludes women from an occupation?
Falsely claims to be the nation state of Jews. Israel is the one that makes everybody think that this action, all of the action, the genocide that you called a genocide, is actually being done.
Honestly, if Hasan could, he would probably do that shit to Ethan. Restrict.
Anyone?
Jews. So of course, for everyone in that side of the world, when they say Jew, it's interchangeable with Israel. Many of these people, including
do you think he's like Anne Frank?
What?
Oh, there, here it is, the Anne Frank.
Of course, absolutely. He has withstood genocide. He has withstood genocide by the Saudi government. Of course I do. I think that talking to, but my point that I was fucking presenting.
So yeah, so basically he's trying to akin Anne Frank here. If Anne Frank was able to fight back, I guess. Somehow. But I don't think that was the case because, I mean, what could she do? She was a scrawny fucking girl who didn't know war or anything. Right? Motherfucker was, he was raised and trained immediately, right? Versus she was.
And seeing the good in people despite a fucking Holocaust.
If that even, if that could happen.
That's why she's inspired. This guy went on Twitter
and said, fuck Jewish
people.
Instead, she wrote a journal that fucking her last thoughts, literally, before she passed. And then right there, her, what was it, her father or uncle or something was the one that published the book or something like that.
If she was like, I want to kill Germans and hang them, yeah.
Took up arms against the Nazis, would you say that Anne Frank is bad for that? Say Anne Frank is bad for that, Ethan.
For something that didn't happen?
Anne Frank would be bad if she took up arms against the
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't bring that. It didn't happen. So why are you trying to prove this point? It didn't. Yeah, and then he gets so heated about it too. I guess you could say passionate about it. Okay.
The occupation. Say it.
It wouldn't be the same for sure. It
wouldn't be the same.
She's famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite living through a Holocaust. You understand that? That's not what. Let me show you. Let me show you.
Do you think that if Anne Frank? Do you think that if Anne Frank?
If Anne Frank. See, this is where it gets. Why are we Why are we entertaining the thought of something that didn't happen? And that, oh, we're gonna somehow flip the script and do a reverse alternate reality somehow? Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. You're not going to reverse the script. No, then I'm sorry.
Took up arms against the Nazi occupation.
Israel isn't occupying Yemen anyway.
We're in period. I have to say, we're in present time. We're not in some unrealistic, imaginary place, right?
Occupying Yemen.
Israel isn't, but for every single country in this region, American imperialism is all they have known. You say the Saudis. You said this. Why don't they say "Death to Saudi Arabia" on their flag? Why is it?
And then he brings up American imperialism. Where is this going? He's just bringing up a bunch of just random shit now for some reason.
Jews. Why is it damn the Jews?
They're directly fighting Saudi Arabia.
Oh, but
what
I thought,
you
see the Star of David. Of course they hate Jews. What about why does their flag say "Death to fucking Israel" and "Damn the Jews"?
Their flag says "Death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews."
Damn the
which
Jews,
I have
curse
said
upon
time
the
and
Jews.
time again is kind of gauche, not acceptable, not
That's
appropriate
nice.
by Western standards. But if you listen
Why
to,
does it say
Norm
Saudi
has
Arabia?
a clip on that too. Norm has a clip on that too. Do you want to see?
No, let me show you this because you've been going on and on.
Norm Finkelstein explain that?
No, I want to show you this. Okay, you've been talking and talking and talking and talking. Very good. Let's watch this.
Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Ethan?
You got to stop.
Do you can?
Yeah, I mean it is. Well, then again,
Condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising.
I'm gonna play this video.
Let
okay?
them fight it out.
He says, "Ready for sacrifice." Oh, maybe I read it.
Sacrifice and eager for martyrdom. Maybe he's talking about football. Here he is singing a song with the words, "Do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?" Meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists, with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth with a pike, or how Hasan likes to say it, a pike for a cut. Okay, why would he retweet this article called "Houthis use social media to boost global prominence and support"? Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv. The
What do you
drone,
mean
which no Israeli defense can stop.
He's saying all this shit.
I know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious.
Oh yeah, this is where I cut the.
Changeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't make you a Houthi. Are you a soldier?
Yeah, then
yes.
there he is on the ship that he just fucking took over. I think that was literally the fucking that one ship that we saw, the British owned ship or whatever.
Definitive.
Why
did you say yes?
It had a lot of
soldier?
people who
Bro, he doesn't even
had
fucking
hands
speak
on
English.
it.
You're like, oh, he's a soldier.
It was other countries.
Wait,
and
even if he is, I'm gonna ask you a question very clearly and very deliberately. If Anne Frank
just like Anne
posted,
Frank, by the way.
if Anne Frank lived, if we had the internet during the time of the Holocaust, and Anne Frank posted,
I mean, this
about,
still.
this is what we're gonna do to the Nazis,
I have to say, you're not for a normal person, you're not going to get past the idea that it's okay to literally hold up a cargo ship gunpoint and be a fucking pirate. Right? And hold hostages, by the way, which is extremely bad. It would have been one thing if they let the hostages go, but no, they kept the hostages. For some reason. Because as soon as they took the action of trying to commandeer a ship, well, you have hostage on your hands now. Because you're going in guns a-blazing. You're not going to tell a normal person this is okay, Hasan. I'm sorry. You're not winning this one. You defending terrorists? No normal person would defend you for that. They would see you burn, honestly.
Would your analysis of Anne Frank change even a little bit, even an iota?
Yes, of course it would, because she's famous for being a pacifist, not tweeting out "Death to all Zionists." She's famous for seeing the good in people, not fucking tweeting out that we want to nuke Israel. What do you mean?
That one, because I would not give a fuck. I would be loud and proud, going, "Hey, that's what she said." That's
this is Hasan trying to prove why he's a fucking retard. Because it doesn't help him prove his point why, right, this Houthi terrorist is commandeering ships and, right, fucking up people. On purpose, by the way.
That's what we're gonna do to the Nazis? Fuck yeah, girl.
So after watching that compilation, you still agree that he's just like Anne Frank?
Did you not hear what I asked you.
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never hold that against her.
She was fucking killed in a concentration camp, you psychopath.
But if she
was exterminated with her whole fucking family. Her dad's the only one that survived and recovered her journal. Are you fucking mad?
Either, Ethan, right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against her?
I wouldn't hold it against her, but she wouldn't be the same historical figure that said, despite my family being killed in a concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck what's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not nuke Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
I can't believe we're once again discussing the
the fact that Hasan is trying to defend murdering people is insane. Right? That's fucking insane. Come on. You have basically Hasan defends murdering people right here. Literally. I mean, he obviously can't say it, but he's actively saying, yes, it's okay to murder people.
That's all Zionists. She's famous for seeing the good in people, not fucking tweeting out that we want to nuke Israel. What do you mean?
That one, because I would not give a fuck. I would be loud and proud going, hey, that's what she said. That's what we're going to do to the Nazis. Fuck yeah, girl.
So hold on. After watching that compilation, you still agree that he's just like Anne Frank?
Did you not hear what I asked you?
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anne Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never hold that against her.
She was fucking killed in a concentration camp.
Oh yeah, this is by the way everyone's favorite streamer.
Are you fucking mad?
Yeah, this is everyone's favorite streamer who goes on his stream and talks about murdering people.
Then, right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against her?
I wouldn't hold it against her, but she wouldn't be the same historical figure that said, despite my family being killed in a concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck what's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not nuke Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
I can't believe we're once again discussing the posts of a dude in Yemen
who
really
like to
19 fucking years old.
Well, you said he's not a Houthi. You mean you went on and on and on and on about how he's just some random fucking innocent kid that you platformed and blazed the fuck up, by the way. Which is, by the way, just terrible journalism. Like, you have KFC in Yemen? Is that the fucking best question you have for someone who's apparently surviving a genocide in Yemen, who's been with the crew of kidnapped hostages, who's apparently partied with the captains? You say, is there KFC in Yemen? Are you fucking kidding me?
Here's some clips that you haven't shown.
Being wrong, it's insanely incompetent.
We're going clip for clip. Can you please play this? It's from my subreddit.
Yeah, the way he did the whole fucking interview was so stupid. He was never going to ask real questions. He was always gonna gas up that fucking dude.
Give me a sec. Dan's gotta pass it to me. Okay, after this, please, we gotta move on to the Nakba thing.
Yeah. Every single victim of Israeli or American violence has to be a pacifist.
Okay, do you want me to watch this? I mean, what the fuck, bro? It's 4 minutes, so I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll watch a minute or 2 minutes, okay? This is like shot by a fucking propagandist.
Yeah, Hasan loves playing these weird propaganda fucking videos to his stream for some reason. It's basically the same shit you see on TV with the Ethiopian kids and donate to this charity to help us with these kids and whatnot. I had to say, but St. Jude does it too. Save the children. Yeah, that fundraiser. I believe they have sometimes some ads on the TV. I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't watch TV anymore, so it's hard to say anymore.
He's got makeup on. The lighting is perfect. Yeah, he's like, guys,
but yes,
we love the Jews.
They do put TV ads or billboard ads.
Not with the Jews, like a big man, buddy? Bunking on a fucking 19-year-old living in Yemen. You pick and choose what you think. You pick and choose what you think is appropriate.
Well, what do you think about all the shit I showed you? Which do you think he believes, this or that?
I think he believes both. This is not.
He both believes the Jews are our friends and also we need to murder them all. He believes that Jews are our friends and we need to murder them all. Is that correct?
The problem is you conflate.
No, he said Jews. He said this is what we're going to do to Jews.
From a Western perspective, for them, when they talk about Israel, they sometimes reflect it as Jews.
And that's the Jews' fault, right?
But listen to me. You're blaming the victim. Because in that interview that I conducted with him, I asked him about how he felt about Jews, anti-Zionist Jews specifically.
I remember.
And he said he loves them.
That is such a lie. You're such a liar.
You don't know this person.
I watched it. That's not what he said, though. He said if they support Palestine, then I like them. He didn't. You're lying. You're just lying. You're lying about what he said. You're lying. I've seen that interview.
That is true.
He didn't say that. He said,
yeah, he did say if they support Palestine, right? He was very specific. He did say that.
Then that's good. Look, that's what he said. It's a fucking materially way different than I love Jews. What the fuck you said?
No, you didn't hear you just repeated what I said.
What'd you say?
I said love, but I think he didn't. I guess he didn't say love.
What did he say? Hold on, Hasan. What did you say? He said.
I said that I don't care what anyone's background is. I love them.
Yep, this is where he gets caught. Well, I mean, he already got caught before, but yeah.
Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter. If you are against Israel,
I mean, he got caught with the Hezbollah thing too.
That's nowhere close to what you said.
Dude.
Well, you realize you were wrong. You got caught in a lie, so you're revising. It's fine. Well, let's move on to the Nakba thing.
Dude, I don't care.
We gotta move on, bro.
Ethan, listen to my words very carefully. If he had told me, okay, I hate all Jews unconditionally, I am an anti-Semitic person.
He did tweet stuff like that.
The conversation would go very differently. But even then, I probably wouldn't be as vicious as
you literally said that on social media,
or you want me to be, because I understand the material conditions and what
Jews.
plays a role in people's recognition of the world.
Nobody needs to fear Jews.
What recognition of the world? Wait, so you're saying you have the best worldview that people must follow? You see how insane you sound, Hasan? Right? It's like you want to make a cult. I'm always right. I'm Cenk Uyghur's nephew. I got fed money on a silver platter.
Kill Jews.
What? No, he didn't say that.
I'll play it again. You want me to play it again?
Oh, God. Okay, dude. You just play the fucking clip then. God damn it. Just play the clip. He said Zionist, but play the fucking clip, Ethan.
Yeah. I'll play
it. He gets so mad too at this. It's fucking hilarious. Oh, yes. Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong, Hasan? Where? Oh, oh, don't be like that.
Play the clip I sent you without fucking complaining. You're too dolled up.
But you want me to watch your clip? I thought, no, we're gonna watch my clip.
No, play the fucking clip I sent you.
By the way, I don't know if this music's claimed. By the way, we can. It does matter, unfortunately. You're on Twitch where stealing content is fucking regular, but on YouTube there's standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. God forbid someone might copy strike you, and then their lawyers might demand erroneous.
Which you admitted is sometimes warranted. Where's the link?
Mr. Fair Use. Mr. Fair Use.
Yeah. Do you know what fair use is? You fucking moron.
Well, I mean, Hasan would do the same if he could. I mean, he obviously would.
It's using it fairly. There's a big difference between.
No, I know. Fair use is when you get mad at Redditors criticizing you, so you fucking you get your high-powered attorney to fucking sue them and make demands about how they have to release information about their about their
Let me play this for a minute, and then we'll move on.
Well, I mean, if the Redditors were if some of those Redditors were directly trying to dox him, I mean, hey, that's on them, right? That's kind of illegal, you know that, right? Actually, I don't even know what he lives in. I don't remember where he lives. Israel or something like that. I forgot. Yeah, Israel. So I don't know how.
This is the most
pathetic terrorist. Then again, he's doing it based on, I guess, U.S. I don't know how.
Bullshit I have ever seen. And the
he
fact
probably
that you
has some lawyers he talks to.
It's so hilarious to me.
Dude,
wow. Let's keep it going. No, I love this. This is great.
All right, just keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying. I don't know where the audio went. Oh, why was it? Sorry, hold on. I pulled it back up.
Taylor Lorenz tweeted, "What's so crazy is that we tried to nab an interview with Rashad.
Oh no, please don't bring in Taylor Lorenz. That's another person who wants to suck Hasan's dick. I don't know why he brings up all these disingenuous people for his sources. Taylor Lorenz is probably one of the worst motherfuckers on the planet."
Hasan the Hun got the scoop. Ethan continues to chastise Hasan for legitimate journalism and an interview that half of MSM was chasing.
Well, first of all, Taylor Lorenz is a fucking hack loser who's obsessed with you, okay? Of course she would
do
that.
That's true.
She, by the way, what was the legitimate... Name one question you asked him that represents legitimate journalism.
Okay.
One question.
Great question. What do you feel about anti-Zionist Jews leading many of the anti-Israel protests in the United States of America?
That's your most important journalistic question, which he basically said...
No, you asked me one. I gave you one.
I don't think that... I mean, I find that to be insignificant, especially considering his answer. No follow-up questions? Why don't you ask him why don't you ask a follow-up question like,
Ethan,
do you not care if they're Zionist Jews? That there are Israeli Jews that support you?
I don't give a fuck if he cares if there's Zionist Jews or not.
What about do you think? What was the hard-hitting part about asking if he likes One Piece? Was that hard-hitting journalism?
No, it was called humanizing.
That was called cringe as fuck, glazing, pathetic.
Yeah, because you don't like when a fucking brown person gets a little bit of air. Is that right?
This is where the racism comes in. It's because you don't like a brown.
America.
That's your most important journalistic question, which he basically said.
No, you asked me one. I gave you one.
I don't think that.
I'm sorry. I have to clip this because it's so fucking insane what Hasan just says right Hasan just went full race card racism right there. Oh my god.
That, I mean, I find that to be insignificant, especially considering his answer. No follow-up questions? Why don't you ask him if he? Why don't you ask a follow-up question like, do you not care if they're Zionist Jews? That they're Israeli Jews that support you?
I don't give a fuck if he cares if there's Zionist Jews or not.
What about
what?
do you think? Hey, what was the hard-hitting part about asking if he likes One Piece? Was that hard-hitting journalism?
No, it was called humanizing.
That was called cringe as fuck, glazing, pathetic.
Yeah, because you don't like when a fucking brown person gets a little bit of airspace.
There it is. Word for word, he said it. I didn't say it. Mr. Hasan himself said it. I can't, dude. I can't. I don't know why he said that. That was so stupid. That, dude, as soon as he said that, I think that was it. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you fucking idiot? Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. God. God damn it, I have to tweet this because it's just like it's so fucking outrageous that Hasan would make that claim. It's so out of fucking left field. It's so insane. Jesus Christ. Oh man. Fucking dumb. Oh fuck. Anyways. There it is. It's on there now.
Is that right?
Look like a human being.
So you're resorting to calling me racist now? By the way, this dude's white as fuck. What are you talking about? Ethan. This dude's whiter than I am. What the fuck are you talking about, dipshit? Hold on, you accuse me of being racist. Are you talking about this guy?
Yeah, now he's trying to backpedal at what he just said because he knows what he just said was so fucking stupid and brain dead. And the fact is that he went off stream after this happened. I think people were saying he went off stream thinking he won. I mean, that's what everyone does, I guess. But I don't know, when you come out defending terrorists and then when you start calling people bigots, right? Just fucking homophobic and shit like that. It's like, dude. Oh shit.
Are you talking about this
your
guy?
wife is a part of the IDF. Do you think it's appropriate to call your wife a terrorist?
I think you do. No, I don't.
You don't think it's appropriate?
No.
Okay. You have stated time and time again that You believe, to show how pro-Palestine you are, that you believe settlers are valid military targets.
Right.
Who do you think is protecting the settlers who you claim
The
are
IDF
valid
is
military
protecting them.
targets?
It's fucking insane.
In the process,
yeah,
in the process
was
of
my
their
wife out there
pogroms that they're
protecting?
doing.
Sorry, was Hila out there protecting settlers?
No, she was doing a night raid, as a matter of fact, and I didn't know any of this until recently. For the record,
She
until
was
a couple
fucking-
months ago.
Also, he's bringing up something that we have no background. So I don't know why he's trying to put this point forward when there's no real information about this. So I don't. This is another moot point, and this doesn't need to be here. Just like some of the stuff that's back here that doesn't need to be here, right? Like the content cop stuff, right? All the content cop stuff, I should say most of the content cop stuff didn't need to be there. I mean, bringing up the tier list, I guess. I mean, maybe, but even then, that's kind of like whatever. But yeah. Yeah, and then it gets... Yeah, I don't know why he brings this up here.
Oh, yeah, you can do the Raider of
doing
Ramallah
night
scenario.
raids.
Go on. Yeah, your community doesn't harass anyone. She was 18 years old. She went on a ride along to Ramallah for some kind of fucking mission. She stayed in the car, and then they went back, and that's all that happened. She's 18 years old, bro. She's a secretary.
The process of taking someone hostage, you called him it, by the way. That person was a Palestinian living in his own fucking home, and your wife went on a raid to Ramallah, which you have called a terror city.
Yeah, that was an old clip. I don't think Ramallah's a terrorist. Is your wife a valid military target in that process? Because you've said that settlers are valid military targets. Do you think your wife is a valid military target? Do you think your wife is a terrorist, Ethan? She's not a West Bank settler.
Oh, but she's in the West Bank. Where's Ramallah, Ethan?
Bad Empanada thinks she's valid. Your friends over at Second Thought think that she's a valid target.
Do you think she's a valid military target?
Do you think she's a valid military target? Do you think she's a valid military target?
I do not, as a matter of fact. I don't. Okay.
Right. Can we please move on to this?
That's funny because he's willing to say that Israelis are valid military targets, but he's like, what? Okay, whatever.
Listen to me.
So as you can see, Hasan is very selective at who he wants.
How does this make sense in your mind? You say Israel is doing genocide. She has participated in the kidnapping of a Palestinian in the West Bank.
You don't know who was kidnapped and for what reason. We don't.
Hasan saying this doesn't. What? This doing this is so weird because this has nothing to do. What? It would be the same thing if the U.S. had mandatory service. Everyone would be fucked. Like what? Is he? So basically, he's trying to say because people do military service, they're always going to do bad things, basically. But it's just like, okay, who's going to defend your borders then at the end of the day, right? I understand where Hasan's going with this, but at the end of the day, who's going to defend his borders, right? Right? He wants anarchy. He wants the government to crumble. If that happens, who's going to defend the borders? You think the citizenry is going to be able to do that? Fuck no. They have no training. They don't know how to shoot firearms. More than half of America doesn't know how to fucking fight. Literally. They're too plugged into the fucking internet or getting high or shooting each other or killing each other or fucking... Like what? Or too illiterate to fucking do anything.
Your wife did.
Kidnapped. They arrested somebody. We don't know what happened or what they did. What if he
so
fucking stabbed civilians?
Do you
Doesn't that
understand
happen?
the process in which how people are arrested in the West Bank?
Do Palestinian terrorists never stab and blow up civilians?
They're placed under military detention. They are not actually placed. They do not go through a civil
Palestinian
court process.
terrorists ever commit violence on civilians that weren't then being arrested?
They are not in the West Bank.
You don't know anything about this person or this raid.
Yeah.
In Ramallah, in Palestinian
territory. I have to say, Ethan's correct. Like, even if Hasan's trying to push this point, like it doesn't do him right. He could have done it a different way, but instead he keeps trying to push this point about his wife, Ethan's wife, right? So it's like what doing, man? Now you're gonna blame blame Ethan's wife or something? Like what? I thought this was a debate between you and Ethan, not Hasan and fucking Hila. Or Hila, sorry. I said her name wrong. Is it Hila? Hila?
Your wife was an illegal occupier of a terrorist organization, also known as the Israeli Occupying Force, Ethan. Now, I know people that have also served in the
That... I don't know where he's going with this, because you could say the same thing about every other every other service member who has to. This is so stupid. This doesn't... Yeah, this doesn't help his point.
Israeli Occupying Force, as a matter of fact. I've relied on breaking the
silence. By the way, her name is Hila. I don't know if you keep doing your wife. Why do you do that? Why do you keep referring to her as my wife? It's bizarre.
Okay, Hila, whatever, who cares?
It just belies some really bizarre thing.
Shit.
It's not random at all. It's a lot.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we all know why Hasan's trying to do it. He's literally trying to objectify Ethan's wife so that he can, badger her more, essentially. Pretty fucked up.
That was wrong. What I take issue with is consistently defending Israel. You have also participated in the defense of Israel. It makes no sense. You're inconsistent. You say it's a genocide, but people can't resist militarily. You say it's a genocide, but all the people who are outspoken are vile anti-Semites.
Hila was doing
mandatory. Supposed to be able to resist against this genocide. Do you actually think it's a genocide?
Hila was doing mandatory military service. What should she have done?
There's numerous options. One, religious exemption. Two, refusing to serve.
Yes, you could do that, but they're just going to throw you in jail. Okay, so you do that, but they're just going to throw you in jail. So she's going to live her life in jail and maybe get killed during that time?
Socially conditioned into thinking that this is appropriate. I have a problem with what she's saying now. I have a problem with how she reflects on that and doesn't realize that was an unjustifiable thing to do.
Okay, well, listen, you can talk to her and debate about it. I don't know what you're even referring to, okay?
What?
I don't even know what the fuck you're referring to. You're just calling my wife a terrorist. Like, well, give me a break, dude.
No.
She did mandatory...
She has talked on your podcast.
Hasan,
she's talked on your podcast about how she went on a raid.
You have to let me talk. The fact that you're just talking over me and being louder does not mean you're right. I promise.
What?
Being louder and talking more does not mean you're right, okay? It's good just to listen to what I have to say. She's part of mandatory conscription.
Did Hila not volunteer? Did Hila not volunteer to go to the West Bank on a raid because she was bored?
Yeah, it's weird that Hasan keeps trying to bring up Ethan's wife. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's 18. It's understandable. We don't know what that guy did, though. We don't know what the raid was for.
He could have been a vicious terrorist monster.
Yeah, but if he killed people, of course. If he killed people, of course he would be worthy of being arrested.
Ethan, is Ramallah a part of Israeli territory?
I mean, it's complicated, right? It's under occupation. No, I don't think so, but it's under occupation, right?
Okay, so why was your wife in Ramallah?
Maybe or getting a terrorist. They killed
okay, so why are we trying to extrapolate some kind of thing that happened in the past? And why is he... I don't know where he's trying to go with... Yeah, I don't... See, this whole point where Hasan goes on this rant about Hila for some reason... I don't know why he tries to put this... It's so fucking weird. It makes no... Right, it's a moot point. It doesn't need to be here. Honestly, they could have just moved on to the next thing and it would have been fine.
She sat in a car.
It's not complicated.
She sat in a car and didn't even leave it and never did it again.
Your wife participated in an illegal raid according to international human rights. That is the reality. Now,
are you upset if this person killed like a child? Would you upset if this person they arrested like stabbed people? Like you don't know what you're talking about.
If she were to talk about,
okay, fine, my wife's a terrorist, bro. What the fuck? It's so boring.
No, stop. Listen to my words.
No, my wife is a terrorist.
As many former IDF vets have on breaking the silence. If she talked about the night raid that she participated in the same way that
just like Froman says, I don't hate only those that regret it.
Talk about, I would have no issue with her.
Do you hope she gets PTSD too?
I understand people can change.
I don't condone the raid, but I mean, neither of us have any information about like what actually happened. You know what I mean?
There is no. You don't understand. If she is illegally there, she is not supposed to be there. It doesn't matter. Her and her entire brigade was not supposed to be there.
I don't think she knew what they were doing.
As a matter of fact,
I don't think she knew what they were doing or where they were going.
What she participated in.
I don't think she knew where they were going or what they were doing.
What she participated in.
Okay, she's a terrorist. Please, we got to move on. This is the reason why.
The reason why the Israeli occupying force.
Yeah, and then he keeps trying to push this point, and he keeps trying to touch. Yeah, this is why right. He keeps pushing this point over and over again. It just makes him look like a retard. It doesn't help him.
In these night raids in the West Bank, to create a constant feeling of terror.
So talking more does not make you right. Okay, you gotta understand.
The reason why the Israeli occupying force participates in night raids.
Actually, you know what? Why don't we just move on to the next thing? This part is nothing, literally. Because he just keeps repeating it after. he literally repeats it like 6-7 times. Like, fuck up already.
Specifically, you said this, which is you said in the context puke. You said this was the worst thing I did. So let me play it, okay, and then we can discuss.
More Jews displaced than Palestinians in the 1948 countries. Just to give that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians.
This is one of the worst pieces of misinformation I've seen in the fucking context puke. For the record, it was crazy.
So Mike, again, nicely done. Let this guy hold your hand and formulate your opinions, but he's not here to help you, okay? So you tell me what was wrong with what was misinformation about saying that 900,000 Jews were displaced?
you make a comparison between Planned Dalit, which is a planned ethnic cleansing campaign, to one, horrify Palestinians inside of villages that had actually no arms whatsoever because they had specific peace agreements that they've done with Jewish villages by killing them, by massacring them, and then letting survivors tell the tale. You asked me a question and I can't fucking answer it. What are we doing?
You're not. You're just going on and on.
I am answering it.
What was the exaggeration?
Ethan,
about the historical fact.
Lesson, okay, you're gonna learn a little bit right now. Okay, Deir Yassin is Tantura. These are two very famous massacres that took place. The brigades, the militant brigades, the Zionist brigades that then formed the IDF, including some that personally called themselves terrorists, by the way, Lihi and Irgun, went in and did horrifying mass rape, kidnappings, throwing people in ovens, and then the survivors left to tell the tale. In that process, these brigades would go to each individual city and forcibly ethnically cleanse 750,000.
Okay, so why is he talking about other? So you're talking about other terror. Okay, so if it's not your terrorist groups that you're not backing, it's like what? Now we're trading terrorist groups for terrorist groups now. This doesn't. I don't know what Hasan's trying to prove here. I mean, no terrorist group is what? Terrorists do terrible fucking things. Why are we still on the whole terrorists? I'm so confused.
Palestinians. This is known as
what the fuck does that have to do with the Jewish refugees? Answer that question. I know what is. I don't deny it.
Do you think that is even remotely comparable to Jewish people leaving sometimes voluntarily and sometimes because their governments had made deals with either Israel or France?
How many of the 900,000 left voluntarily?
I don't know the exact number of how many left voluntarily. Do you?
Take a guess.
I would suspect that a big chunk of them, you're going to say, did not leave voluntarily, but that is not the case.
Well, you're lying and you're fucking dead wrong. You brought up the fact that I talked about what happened in Iraq. So let me give you a timeline of what happened in Iraq. 1932, they gain independence. 1934, Hebrew is banned. Jews are fired from government positions. 1938, Zionist activity is outlawed. Crimes as trivial as possessing a biblical map of the Holy Land will send you to jail. The Farhud pogrom, inspired by neo-Nazis, Rashid al-Khalini killed 180 Jews, hundreds were injured, widespread looting, property damage. 1947, Jews were banned from immigrating because they didn't want them to go strengthen the state of Israel, and they wanted to hold them prisoners against Israel and the West. In 1948, the war begins. Jewish banks were forbidden to transact with foreign countries. Jews were arrested for Zionist activity, for economic crimes. They were fines that were paid to the Ministry of Defense. In 1949, a month after taking office, the British learned that they were planning to expel the Jews from Iraq before they even left. Does this sound like voluntary? Does this sound voluntary? Does that sound voluntary?
Dan, I sent you a clip.
No.
One of the most important scholars on this issue is an Iraqi Jew by the name of Avi Shlaim.
Yeah, I love this. Let's listen to him.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Yeah. Jews were convinced that Israel had a hand in uprooting them. After the 1948 war...
Oh, yeah. So with this clip, Hasan takes a clip out of context. And then when they get the real clip, they fucking can't... Yeah, this is where Hasan's mask breaks more.
Towards the Jews in Iraq, 5 bombs exploded in Jewish sites. The series of bombs.
Right, this is where like the actual mask falls off.
I met an elderly friend of my mother's, an Iraqi Jew called Yaakov Karkukli, who had been in the Zionist underground. One member of his group, Yosef Basri, a very, very intelligent.
Yeah, so basically towards the end, this is where it gets.
This
is where it gets real in a sense.
Basri's controller was an Israeli intelligence officer named Max Bennett.
Let's grant that what he's saying is true and that 3 of the 5 bombs were done by Zionists, right? How does that explain 150,000 people leaving the fucking country?
What?
Thousands of years of civilization that have been there, 2,000 years, just picking up and leaving, almost virtually gone. How does that explain that?
Why is it that the Israeli government benefited from creating instability and making it seem as though these countries were uninhabitable? And why do you think that, despite the fact that Iraq and numerous other countries have offered Israelis or Jews a right to return,
because they were being
failed on the Israeli front for numerous reasons?
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact for you, Hasan.
Let
me tell you an inconvenient fact.
I wonder why that happened. Why is Israel being established?
Before the bombs went off, 100,000 of the 125 Jews were already registered to leave. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Jews wanted to go to Israel, Ethan. They liked
the
idea
so let me hear
what
so
you like Israel.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi Shlaim actually said.
Research I established that one bomb was logged.
Yeah, and then he starts laughing, right? He does that weird nervous laugh he does.
Activists in the Istiklal
because he knows he's been caught, and he does his fucking teeth grinding and shit. Yeah, when he knows he's been caught, he does that weird teeth grind. Right, he moves his mouth a little bit. He's been caught.
Properties. And another hand grenade was lobbed into the Masuda Shem Tov synagogue, and there 4 people were killed. And he was a criminal who had a grudge against the Jews, and it had nothing to do with the Mossad.
Did you hear that? The first 2 had nothing to do with the Mossad. But let's continue to listen to the respected scholar, Avi Shlaim, you fucking liar. No, you listen to this fucking story.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Said they left by choice.
Yeah, and this is where Ethan
because they were being threatened.
Let's hear what your
respected historian has to say, you liar.
That's right. Even if all this is true,
yeah, and I agree with Ethan on this one, because it's just like, why are you being so fucking disgusting all the time?
was not the bombs. It was persecution by the government. And I concede that. It's all part of my argument that the bombs were the main reason for the liquidation of this community. But my answer to my Zionist critics is...
Right, Hasan just seems like a slimy slime ball.
Left Iraq to go to Israel because of the bombs.
Unreliable
I would still
narrator.
think this is a real indictment of the state of Israel. Because Israel was created to provide a safe haven for Jews, not to be harassing and threatening Jews
I made that.
By the way, he said, and I'll quote it for you, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe." He wrote that in his book, 3 Worlds. Have you read that book?
No, I have not read 3 Worlds.
Okay, well, you're using a lot of source from it. It's a book that he wrote about his were already registered to leave. Do you want to explain that?
Created a panic which led more and more out of the 5 bombs. Basri's controller was an Israeli intelligence officer named Max Bennett.
Let's grant that what he's saying is true and that 3 of the 5 bombs were done by Zionists, right? How does that explain 150,000 people leaving the fucking country?
What?
Thousands of years of civilization that have been there, 2,000 years, just picking up and leaving, almost virtually gone. How does that explain that?
Why is it that the Israeli government benefited from creating instability and making it seem as though these countries were uninhabitable? And why do you think that, despite the fact that Iraq and numerous other countries have offered Israelis or Jews a right to return,
because they were being
failed on the Israeli front for numerous reasons?
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact for you, Hasan.
Let me
tell you an inconvenient fact.
I wonder why that happened.
Before the bombs went off,
being established?
before the bombs went off, 100,000 of the 125 Jews were already registered to leave. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Jews wanted to go to Israel, Ethan. They liked
the
great.
So let me hear what
so you like Israel.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi Schleim actually said.
My research, I established that one bomb was lobbed, one hand grenade was lobbed by a young activist in the Istiklal Party who wanted to expel the Jews from Iraq and confiscate the properties. And another bomb was another hand grenade was lobbed into the Masuda Shemtov synagogue, and there 4 people were killed. And he was a criminal.
Like Israel.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi.
Israelis or Jews a right to return
because they were being
failed on the Israeli front for numerous reasons.
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact for you, Hasan.
Let
me tell you an inconvenient fact.
I wonder why that happened.
Before the bombs went off, 100,000 of the 125 Jews were already registered to leave. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Jews wanted to go to Israel, Ethan. They liked the idea
so let me hear what
of Israel. You like Israel.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi Schleim actually said.
My research, I established that one bomb was lobbed, one hand grenade was lobbed by a young activist
in the Istiklal
Party
again.
who wanted to expel the Jews from Iraq and confiscate.
As you can see, he gets caught a
properties.
couple times throughout the stream of just being a fucking douche.
Masuda Shemtov synagogue, and therefore people
right, misrepresenting, mischaracterizing,
against the Jews,
right,
and
spreading disinformation,
misinformation. The first 2 had
misinformation.
nothing to do with the Mossad. But let's continue to listen to the respected scholar Avi Schleim. You fucking liar. No, you listen to this fucking historian. Yes, you said they left by choice. They left because of Zionism. They left because they were being threatened. Let's hear what your respected historian has to say, you liar.
That's right. Even if all this is true, the main reason for the exodus was not the bombs. It was persecution by the government. And I concede that. It's a part of my argument that the bombs were the main reason for the liquidation of this community. But my answer to my Zionist critics is, even if I knew for certain that not a single Iraqi Jew left Iraq to go to Israel because of the bombs, I would still think this is a real indictment of the state of Israel, because Israel was created to provide a safe haven for Jews, not to be harassing and threatening Jews in other countries.
By the way, he said, and I'll quote it for you, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe." He wrote that in his book, 3 Worlds. Have you read that book?
No, I have not read 3 Worlds.
Okay, well, you're using a lot of source from it. It's a book that he wrote about his migration.
It's not the only book he wrote about this. But go on.
Have you read any of the other ones?
Yes.
Really? Which ones?
The book that I'm referencing is from the Iron Wall.
3 Worlds, okay? He writes about his time in Iraq. He writes about his time in Israel. He writes about his time in the UK. In 3 Worlds, he writes about his own family, and he describes their departure from Iraq as traumatic, disorienting, and not voluntary. They were not proud Zionist migrations. They were leaving out of fear.
Oh, Ethan.
He said that himself.
Ethan.
He said, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe."
My friend, you are failing to comprehend a very important reason why I brought up Avi Schleim, by the way. And
yeah, because you think he supports your claim, but he absolutely does not. That's why, because you're a fucking liar.
He
contend with what I said.
Hold on.
No, contend with what I'm saying. He said, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe." Do you want to explain what he meant by that? Explain what he meant by saying, "We didn't leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe."
Okay.
Explain to me.
I can't wait to bring up Avi Schleim on the broadcast and make you fucking look like a dumbass.
I can't wait to. Now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Iraqis are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit. Because Iraq and the Pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
you are out of your mind.
It's not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot.
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
Iraqi government's racism during the Pan-Arabic nationalist movements as a vindication for why, or a comparison to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Do you think
you fucking racist piece of shit?
Thanks, Hasan.
Do you think Iraq? Do you think all Arabs have one fucking mind?
Why the fuck were the Iraqi Jews leaving Iraq in fear?
Of course there were Iraqi Jews that left Iraq in fear. I've never said that there were no Iraqi Jews that left
You want to call me
Iraq in fear.
racist? Why were Iraqi Jews leaving to go to Israel?
Because you're a fucking moron.
That's why they left. They left because I'm a fucking moron.
That Arabs are not one-minded. That there were numerous Pan-Arabic
Answer the question. You're going to call me racist, but you won't answer. Why did the Iraqi Jews leave Iraq?
There were numerous
because of
reasons why the Israeli
anti-Semitism.
government-
They hated Jewish people. They had nothing to do with Israel. They were
shut
forced
the
to leave.
fuck
They were
up, dude.
chased
Shut
out.
up.
They lived there for thousands of years.
Jewish people.
They had
Yes, everyone-
businesses, they had
everyone
homes, and they
hated
were
Jewish
forced
people.
and abandoned
It's
to go to
weird.
Israel because it was the only fucking place they could. Why would Iraqis hate that Jews living there if they had nothing to do with Zionism or Israel? Why?
Because settler colonialism
That
was
has
already
nothing to do with that,
taking
you
place in
absolute
British
fucking
mandate
dumbass.
Palestine,
What does
Ethan.
that have to do with the Iraqi Jews?
Do you think the aliyahs were happening?
So it was their
initially?
And then this is where Hasan just throws out random terminology just to try and prove his point.
I've never justified that.
Iraq turned on them after 1948. You're material.
I openly recognize that there were numerous reasons why other countries, I know hard concept, all Arab, they all have the same.
I know. Let's go over them.
The pan-Arab nationalist movements as states were being designed,
in Egypt,
mostly by Western nations.
Let's talk facts.
Ethan,
in
you
Egypt,
you got fucking a ChatGPT summary. Let me explain to you, so you can fucking not look like a dumbass.
Okay, do you want to listen or do you just want to add hom?
No, I want to tell you my perspective.
No, you want to talk. That's the problem. You don't want to listen. You're supposed to be
attacking my perspective.
You call me racist, bro. What you do is shut the fuck up and listen to me talk, okay? The Iraqi Jews left because they were in fear of
anti-Semitism. Did call him
racist. Nothing to do with Israel or Zionism. The Arabs in Iraq, the Iraqis turned on them because of what happened in the war in 1948. That had nothing to do with them. So if you want to blame the Jews for their own anti-Semitism, you go right ahead, but that's racism. Now let's talk about Egypt.
I also recognize that.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. In Egypt, 75,000 Jews were displaced. Okay? Following anti-Jewish riots and bombs in Egypt.
Is Egypt Palestinians? Is Egypt Palestinians? Is Iraq Palestinians? Why were the Palestinians never allowed to return?
They were forced to go there by the Arab countries.
Have offered the Jews that were expelled or left on their own voluntarily. These are completely separate countries.
Nobody's justifying the Nakba.
Packaging them together.
No one is justifying the Nakba. I'm explaining how it's fucking insanely racist to discredit the plight, the running of discrimination.
Don't discredit the plight.
But I'm not justifying the Nakba. You seem to be justifying why Jews were chased out of their home country.
No, I'm not, Ethan.
Why they leave?
I'm not justifying that at all.
Why they leave?
You think that because you want to drive home a point. That
why did they leave? Their communities that have been there for 2,000 years, leaving their money, their businesses, their homes. Why did they leave?
Understand. Do you think Iraq is Palestine?
I mean, it is true. Why? It's so easy for Hasan to just... Right, I don't know why he doesn't just...
You think Egypt is Palestine?
Nobody's defending the Nakba.
Do you think that all Arabs are operating on antiquated anti-Semitism? And if your answer is yes, why the fuck did Jews find the Ottoman Empire to be a safe haven for fucking hundreds of years?
Let's talk about the last 100 years. That's great. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire was great for the Jews. Let's talk about the last 100 years. Let's talk about 1948. Anti-Jewish riots broke out after the war. Hasan, you need to shut the fuck up and listen, okay? After the war, okay, in 1948, there was anti-Jewish riots and bombs in Egypt. Why was that? Because of the Jews? The Jews brought it on themselves? Following the establishment of the Israel.
I never made that inference. What are you talking about?
Of course you did.
No, I didn't. I did not make that inference at all.
So they left because Zionism.
No, Ethan, if you were to listen to my words, and I use them very carefully, even though I get heated sometimes,
right.
Okay? Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, each of these countries where Jews lived in the MENA region all the way to the Levant had different reasons. Some of them were direct pogroms. Others were the colonial...
You are a tangibly, historically proven
liar.
And I feel
I just said that some of them were because of pogroms. You're not hearing anything I'm saying. You're so conditioned to saying liars. You're undermining your own point.
The amount that left because of Zionism was minute. They were chased out. They were forced to become Zionists by their oppressors because they had nowhere else to go. In Egypt, following the establishment of Israel in May 1948.
Ethan, none of these countries are Palestine.
That is an insanely irrelevant point.
Yeah, the fact that he's trying to be like, oh, but these countries are Palestinian. What? That doesn't mean anything. You had people who were displaced. That's the whole... Right? We're talking about the displaced people. Right? Are we not?
Targeted Jewish areas in Cairo between June and September. They killed 70 Jews, injured 200. They confiscated Jewish-owned businesses and synagogues were attacked and destroyed. Okay?
Ethan,
in 1956, the Suez Crisis.
One is direct violence, direct planned violence and an extermination campaign.
Approximately 25,000 Jews were expelled from Egypt.
Falsely misplaced hostility.
25,000 Jews were expelled
from other countries.
So are you blaming them?
You don't understand.
Are you blaming the Jews for getting? Are you blaming the Jews for being expelled from Egypt? 25,000 of them.
No, Ethan. If you listen to my words, you would understand.
So what is it I exaggerated about? 900,000 Jews were displaced.
Because you are making a comparison with different countries versus one singular force that planned an extermination campaign, planned an ethnic cleansing campaign. Other countries and the reaction to it, or other countries and the previous hostility towards Jews have nothing to do with Palestinians. So making this comparison is gross.
That's why it's anti-Semitic. It has nothing to do with Palestine, but they still got kicked out for being Jews. That's literally what anti-Semitism is.
I don't think you understand.
1,000 Jews in Egypt were arrested and detained without charges. The government seized 500 Jewish-owned businesses and froze bank accounts. Expelled Jews were compelled to sign a declaration donating their property to the Egyptian state and were allowed to take only minimal personal belongings. In Algeria, 130,000 Jews were expelled. Upon the independence...
That's not Palestine. They're not... They're just Arabs. They're not the same fucking people.
My point is very simple. They were expelled from their homes because of anti-Semitism.
Ethan, you used
Sorry, what is wrong about that?
Half of these countries that you're pointing to in the time when Jews were leaving, they were literally controlled by English and French. By English and French colonial occupations. What are you talking about?
They were expelled because of anti-Semitism. What did I say wrong? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Algeria was under French occupation. It is the design where the French occupied Algeria did not squash the attempts of expelling Jews. I'm not saying that there wasn't.
Most Algerians were French citizens and went to France.
That caused Jews to feel unsafe.
95% of Algeria's 140,000 Jewish population.
Individual, often sometimes Western powers, and what
and then
in those countries are the Palestinian.
This is so. Hasan starts blaming Ethan for saying shit he didn't say. Yeah, this is the other thing with Hasan. He always does this weird thing where he starts blaming the other person in the debate for things he didn't say. It's really weird what Hasan tries to do all the time. It does it in a debate. This doesn't. Well, I mean, it may work on the online space with his retarded chat and Destiny's retarded chat, right? But this just sounds retarded.
That's what I'm saying. It's like saying the Armenian genocide, right? The Turkish, the Ottoman Empire and the forces and the Ottoman genocide that they conducted, a mass extermination campaign, is because other fucking random countries where Armenians were also getting equally dispelled. Turks were getting dispelled in other countries.
The pogrom happened as a direct result of the war, bro.
In the past, that it was a necessary voluntary migration.
By the way, did you? Oh my God, bro! Did you say Anne Frank died before she could resist? I don't know if that was a fever dream.
You got anyone you want to call over the heavyweight division?
Sorry, I just thought it was the same thing to say. I'm not trying to litigate it. In Tripoli,
sorry, I got.
Anti-Jewish riots broke out amid post-war unrest. Synagogues were burnt. Jewish institutions were shut down.
What's your point about Anne Frank? Why are you trying to deflect away from what I'm saying here?
In Los Angeles.
The Six-Day War backlash. In 1967, another Israel victory. Jewish communities got mobbed. 6,000 Jews were evacuated. Homes were destroyed. Synagogues were burned. In Morocco, 250,000 Jews were expelled. Anti-Jewish riots broke out in 1948. You'll notice most of these pogroms are happening in 1948 as a direct result of the war. The Arabs turned on their Jewish populace out of anti-Semitism. Period. Point blank. June 7 to 8, 1948. In northeastern Morocco, following the Declaration of State of Independence of the State of Israel on May 14, 1948, anti-Jewish riots erupted in the town of Jarada. These towns were significant transit points for Moroccan Jews seeking to immigrate. 47 Jews were killed, many were injured, Jewish homes and businesses were looted and destroyed. In 1950-1960, harassment and immigration. The year following 1948 riot, Moroccan Jews faced increased pressure. These factors contributed to a significant immigration of Jews from Morocco. Immigration to Israel was banned in 1959, but before that, 274,000 Moroccan Jews immigrated primarily to Israel. Yemen and England.
Remember when you said you weren't a Zionist?
50,000.
Remember when you said you weren't a Zionist? These are direct Zionist talking points.
This is historical facts, literally spread by your very own.
Yeah, it's funny. He then tries to discredit the actual historical facts because he's like, oh, it's biased. No, it's not real.
Avi Schleim, who, if I'll call back to you, said we didn't leave because we were Zionists. We did not leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were afraid.
Appropriate, Ethan. That's the difference. If you ask Avi Schleim whether it is comparable to say the Nakba and the 900,000 Jews,
basically Hasan's trying to make up some imaginary
to acknowledge the trauma of both groups. There's no
happen.
reason why you are a radical fucking propagandist liar. Both trauma needs to be acknowledged by both groups. There's two things that need to be true for this ever to be resolved peacefully.
You're right.
Palestinian self-determination and Israelis' right to have secure borders. As long as you ignore that, there will always be war. Palestinians will always die, and you will continue to make money from it. Operation Magic Carpet. Jews were secretly airlifted to Israel due to rising hostility. 50,000 were relocated in Tunisia. 130,000 after.
The PLO did recognize that, and they wanted those countries to actually do a right to return for all Jews. Why did Israel stop that from happening, Ethan? Don't you think that Zionism is the problem here?
Avi Schleim said,
what happened? They didn't fucking send you that clip? They didn't send you that piece of information? So the PLO, Yasser Arafat, the people that don't care about Jewish plight, actually did see
the guy who oversaw the second Intifada.
And wanted Jews to be able to go back and do a right to return if they wanted to do so into their nation of origin.
I'm talking about the flights, bro. You deny the flight of Middle Eastern Jews. No, you deny the flight. You deny the trauma of Middle Eastern Jews.
I don't deny the flight,
Ethan. You absolutely deny the trauma. No, you deny that they left by. You try to say that they left by choice. That is a gross historical inaccuracy.
There are Jews that left by choice.
Yes, some did. Of the 900,000, the vast majority left because they were afraid. Because they were being discriminated against. That is a historical fact. 6 Day War aftermath.
Have you ever actually listened to a clip of me talking about this?
What?
Oh my God, you have no idea what my perspective on this is. You're just fucking yelling at nothing.
What are you doing right now? What are you wasting time for, buddy?
Oh my God. This is the reason why you're
I have heard you talk about it time and time again.
That I don't actually believe.
Bro, you are continually, not acknowledging the trauma of Middle Eastern Jews. You characterize it like they left. Yes, I've seen it.
Have you ever listened to anything that's not 30 seconds long?
Yes, bro. That's so ironic that you're saying that as you misquote Avi Schleim, who said he fled because he was afraid and not because here's the clip. Here's the clip.
But you're too busy trying to get out of here. So you're just like farm a clip. But everyone's still going to think you're a fucking loser, dude. I'm sorry. Just shut up and listen. If you want to actually hear my perspective.
I'm shutting up and listening to you.
Okay, thank you. The Iraqi Jews. Because when anti-Semitism increases in the West, Israel sees that as a complementary tool to its Zionist project of bringing either all Jews to Israel or at least make Jews in the Western world that are outside of Israel, Jews in diaspora, support Israel because it gives additional credence to the argument. It gives additional credence to the argument that no Jew is ever safe if there is no Jewish state. That is the underpinning of the Zionist project in general.
Why did you not mention the anti-Semitism? You exclusively talk about Zionism being the reason for forcing them out. Why do you deny that they were expelled by force, the vast majority of them?
Ethan, if you think that is the entirety of my perspective on this matter,
illuminate me.
You please need to stop talking and listen to the amount of times that I've talked about this.
Bro, just explain yourself.
I'm trying.
I just watched the clip of you being pretty dismissive about the flight. And by the way, you've done it this whole time. You say that Zionism was the main force.
No, I'm dismissive about the aspect that this is beneficial to the Zionist project across the board because Israel wants all Jews to be constantly fucking terrified in any other country that's not Israel so that they can actually go and either support Israel if they're not in Israel or just move to Israel. That is the entire point. That is what Jabotinsky wanted. That is what Herzl wanted. And that is precisely what Benjamin Netanyahu wants as well. So in terms of my explanation, or what I come across as dismissive, is precisely the role that Israel itself played in this process.
Which was minuscule.
It was a mutually beneficial relationship. Anti-Semitic pogroms.
Minuscule. What you fail to acknowledge is that the Jews were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but by necessity, because the Arab countries turned on them after the war and forced them to go to the only state that they could go to.
It's a necessity for Israel to exist, which is what your position is, right?
No, it's not about what was allowed or not. The Arabs created 1 million Zionists because they're anti-Semitic after the war of 1948 and fucking the rise of Arab nationalism. Do you deny that?
You brought up
Do you deny what I just said?
Wait,
do you deny what I just said?
Wait, say again. I wasn't listening.
900,000 Jews, approximately 700 to 900,000, were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but because they were forced out. The vast majority went to the fucking Arabs. The Arabs, the anti-Semitic Arabs.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What? That's my point. Are you okay?
I rest my case.
Okay, well, I mean, you can.
Basically, he keeps saying, no, those points are mute. Basically, he's trying to discredit the historical background that was given as of information we have right now. He's basically saying, oh no, that information is not real.
Kind of racist nonsense
That's
you're fucking
unbelievable.
That was my entire point. Thank you.
I mean, it's historical. You don't know anything about what you're talking about. Avi Schleim, once again, because you don't want to contend, you like to accuse him when it's convenient. He left not because they were Zionists. They left because they were afraid.
Yeah, fucking Arabs. What was Avi Schleim, by the way?
Yeah, he was an Arab Jew. They didn't see him that way. They kicked his ass out. I'm not saying fucking Arabs. There's a reason for it. There was a rise in Arab nationalism following the 1948 war. They blamed their own Jewish populace for what Israel did. That's anti-Semitism. They had nothing to do. Do you think the Iraqi Jews left their 2,000-year-old communities, left their businesses, left their houses because they wanted to go to Israel? Are you fucking mad?
Ethan, remember a while back I tweeted and you got really mad when I said that there's a double standard between Islamophobia and
absolutely a double standard, and you exhibit it, my friend.
And you're participating in it right now without even recognizing that you're doing so.
I mean, I'm just telling you literally what happened.
Historical racism. All Arabs
they were
are not
racist.
responsible.
Do people never get racist? Do people never be? I'm explaining why. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just explaining why. After the 1948 war, the rise of Arab nationalism created a lot of anti-Semitism, and that's why the vast majority of the Jews, the 900,000 of them, were forced to immigrate. That's a fact. That's a historical fact.
Ethan, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if your audience gets this as well, but what you just said earlier is not an accurate reflection of history. It's just pure racism.
How do you know that?
You are shifting the blame over.
It absolutely was the blame of the Arabs.
When every single one of these Arab countries,
absolutely,
their own version of pan-Arabic nationalism, half of them were already still controlled, by the way, by fucking European colonial powers like Vichy France.
That was literally just in Tunisia.
The Moroccan expulsion program, and you're using that as a similarity between the planned expulsion of 750,000 Palestinians.
The details are different, but you're denying. Once again, you're still not disproving me. What did I say? That
it's hilariously racist wrong. Anti-German racism.
Don't make an analogy. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Pointing to anti-German racism happening.
I need facts from you. Why am I wrong?
It's as though you are pointing to anti-German racism happening during the fucking German conquest.
Tell me a fact, right? That proves that I'm wrong. That the vast majority of Jews fled because of anti-Semitism in the Arab states.
Oh, really? It's not what you're saying. I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong. I
didn't say anything wrong, but I'm racist.
It's the idea that all Arabs are fucking one-minded and have something to do with Palestinians in general.
What?
Yes, I never said that there wasn't any fucking...
What? Hasan keeps putting words in Ethan's mouth that he never said, so it's like, I don't know why he keeps doing it.
Definitely Arab, anti-Jewish sentiment. That also...
Were the vast majority of Jews, did they leave because of anti-Semitism or Zionism?
The vast majority of Jews,
did they leave,
regardless of whether or not they left for anti-Semitism or Zionist purposes, is not comparable to the Nakba.
You're not answering. Did they leave
because of comparable to the Nakba.
I don't care. That's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm not comparing that.
And by the way, you made that comparison to say, like, to make it seem as though it was a much larger
because
crime.
People like you ignore the trauma of the fact that you want to tell the people in Israel to go back to where they came from. This is where they're from. They were forced to go to Israel.
They could right now. They could go tomorrow.
Really? The Iraqi Jews can go back to their home tomorrow. The Egyptian Jews can go back to their homes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That is insane. You are fucking out of your mind. Okay, how? Tell me how. How did the Jews go back to their...
They don't want to, and I understand why they wouldn't want to.
No, they want to.
Why would they could?
How? How would they go back and reclaim their lost assets, their lost property?
There were literally different schemes designed at different points throughout this 76-year-long, drawn-out apartheid structure. There were numerous instances where, yes, there was a right to return offered to Jews and even restitution for the homes that they lost in the process. So, yes, you're wrong. You simply don't know the facts. You are wrong.
You won't say what fact I'm getting wrong.
I just told you.
Did the vast majority of Jews immigrate to Israel following 1948 because of Zionism or because of anti-Semitism?
No. Don't run away
answer
from
the
fucking
question.
I don't discount anti-Semitism as a direct consequence of pan-Arabic nationalism that took place in numerous countries.
He will never answer this question because he knows the answer to it.
Comparison.
Okay. You keep saying right, some of the answers that Ethan puts forwards are yes or no questions too. So it's like it's very easy to say it, and we know why. Because he knows he lost.
After you talked about the 1948 war.
Because the point is that two people were traumatized. There was two people that were traumatized. There was two people that were displaced unfairly. It was the Palestinians and it was the Middle Eastern Jews. They both have trauma. You failed to acknowledge one group. You shit on the other one. I acknowledge both groups. I acknowledge both groups.
You're all lives mattering the Nakba.
What? That isn't.
That's what you're doing. And you're also attributing.
How am I doing that?
You're attributing anti-Semitic violence in random in different countries.
At the same time, following 1948, pan-Arab nationalism. You said that yourself. These 5 Arab countries were defeated in 1948, and they turned super fucking anti-Semitic as a result. They became ultra-nationalist Arabs. It became popular as Israel declared independence. They said, "Fuck no, we don't want this country here." And yeah, they all became anti-Semitic. That's a historical fact.
You also failed to recognize that Iraqi Jews have been allowed to return to Iraq, and there have been numerous instances where Jews were given an opportunity to return if they wanted to.
How many Jews live in Iraq?
What?
How many Jewish people?
I think 0 right now, but they can.
How many Jews live in the Middle East outside of Israel?
Why would it?
Virtually none. Where'd they go? If it was so fucking great for them.
Why do Iraqi Jews not want to go to Iraq, you think, right now?
0 Jews. Almost virtually 0 Jews live outside of Israel in the Middle East.
I think
Why is that? You don't think that none of them wanted to fucking stay at home?
I don't know. Maybe because there was a religious ethno-supremacist state that was backed by a lot of Western states as a direct destabilizer in the fucking region, with mass migration happening, especially, of course, mass migration happening, and then in the aftermath of the Holocaust with a shit ton more refugees coming in, was a much more viable state for them.
Here's the problem.
The viability of said state, of course, is partially a consequence of the other countries and the hostility that people felt towards Jewish people. But this in and of itself, is the heart of the problem, because people conflate Zionism with Judaism, and
that's what the Arabs did when they kicked them all out.
I know, and I don't think it's appropriate.
And so why are you blaming the Zionists and not the fucking Arabs for being racist? Why do you deny the Jewish trauma? Why do you deny the 900,000 traumatized Jews that were forced, including, by the way, what you keep ignoring, Avi Schleim. Avi Schleim said we didn't leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were afraid. Are you hearing that?
Ethan, do you blame the English for the Holocaust?
No.
Who did the Holocaust, Ethan?
Just fucking make your point. I'm not playing this silly game.
Come on, who did the Holocaust? Just say it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Why not just? I'm asking you a question. It's a super simple question.
Avi Schleim said we left Iraq because...
I asked you who was responsible for the Holocaust.
Why would I answer such a stupid rhetorical question? Just make your point.
I mean, I get what he's trying to say here, but it doesn't prove anything.
Oh, the answer to this, right? Like, come on, what are you looking at on your fucking computer? Like, which country is responsible for the Holocaust?
Anytime you want to make your point. I would appreciate if you...
What's happening? Dude, when you
well, yeah, why...
Whatever. You said,
it's... Why don't you just say, we all know the fucking country. Why don't you just say, I don't know why Hasan tries to play this weird game. Just fucking say, we all know the fucking history. Like, all right. We're all fucking educated people here. Like, why are you playing this weird fucking game? See, this is why I can never trust Hasan. He plays this weird fucking game, and you can never trust what he's saying.
If you just listen to one thing,
you already said that it wasn't the English, right? It's not the responsibility of the British that the Holocaust happened, right? You understand that? You recognize that? Right.
Well, I would say the nation most directly guilty for the Holocaust was probably Nazi Germany.
Okay. Did you just read that from your laptop?
No, I'm eloquent. Like your dumbass.
I mean, yes, it is. Okay. Notice how you don't actually put every single fucking country. There was plenty of
him doing that little weird thing right there didn't... Hasan tries to make this weird point that, oh, I'm gonna win because I said this one thing right here. Yeah, no, this is so stupid. It just sounds like a retard.
Anti-Semitism in England too. Notice how you don't fucking say all of Europe is responsible for the Holocaust, but you say all Arabs.
Okay.
The point is,
there's no Jews in the Middle East. None. Can you listen to one thing? I have one thing important to say that I really want you just to listen to. Okay. Avi Schleim said they did not leave Iraq because they were Zionists. They left because they were afraid.
Yes.
You are denying his family's trauma. You are blaming his family's trauma on Zionists.
Will you talk to him about this?
Sure. I mean, he's going to prove it. I read it from his fucking book.
If you're so confident in everything, if you're so confident in all this, okay, that would be great. All right, perfect. Okay.
So listen. I'll debate all these people instead of you. I have time. Unfortunately, like I said, it's getting late, so I just want to make one last point before we go, which is that always remember, Hasan, that when people criticize me, I watch it on my stream by myself live, unlike a bitch-made coward like yourself, who needs someone to hold your hand, make all the excuses in the world to avoid any single criticism, any response. You, my friend, are a coward, and I am the fucking legend that responded to it live with zero hesitation. But you know why? Because I'm not a liar. I don't have to think about the shit that I say and justify it. You lied. That's why you can't do it, because you'll get caught in those lies.
Our endeavor made you look good, then congratulations.
You don't think it was good that you don't think that it was a supreme confidence that I responded to it immediately live?
Ethan, it took you 4 months to actually entertain the notion of having a conversation with me. I'm about watching YouTube videos. I don't know why you think that I'm
afraid of watching 11 hate videos on your channel. 11 hate videos. I've watched zero about you, Hasan. Do you want to actually discuss who's the coward?
You made the hate videos, dumbass! Your fucking community is the hate community. Why the fuck would you have to watch hate videos or whatever? You are the one who's doing it.
When criticism comes, I confront it.
Well, thank you for backtracking on these points. Maybe you should go through the context puke one more time so we can continue this conversation later. Okay?
Yeah, this is the other thing Hasan tries to do so weirdly too. Whenever some sort of like big criticism is going to go his way, it's like everybody has to like ask him to make a statement or some fucking shit. It's like no one has to ask you to make a statement on anything. You are saying this shit yourself, sir. You reap what you sow, correct, Mr. Hasan? Mr. Piker, what are you doing?
Why is it you love Banana Banana, but when he makes a video criticizing you say, I'm not watching that?
Because I think you want to know why? Because I think it's fucking unproductive to
watch criticism of me, you fucking coward? What are you saying?
Because you're fucking presenting yourself and developing an audience that is literally, without even realizing it, because
well, I mean, I criticize Ethan. He's an idiot sometimes, but I don't hate the guy. You, on the other hand, you're acting like a complete buffoon, so it's like it's hard not to hate you.
They are only drama obsessed. Without realizing it, they're literally positioning themselves to be pro-Israel. They're pro-Israel talking points. Yes, that is the only reason why I started talking about you. Because you went on a fucking deplatforming campaign.
Why did you not watch Banana Banana's video about you?
You watched all you did 110 Instagram stories on me since January 31st, 2025.
24 hours, bro.
You didn't even recognize.
You need to at least admit that it's reciprocal. I am not upset. You made 24 hours of nonstop content, bro.
Ethan,
24 hours in the last 2 months.
Just on your own personal
We've
Instagram
talked about each other equally as much, bro.
January 31st. 2025, 110 stories. It was so insane, you didn't believe it.
Even if
you
that's,
don't even believe your own mania.
Hasan,
Please, for the love of God.
Hasan, if you talk about me 24 minutes a day, every day, 7 days a week for 60 days. Does that sound fucking reasonable?
After you presented yourself as a fucking significant force trying to literally deplatform pro-Palestine.
How much time do you think it makes an Instagram story?
That's why.
And then now he's trying to blame Hasan for like the pro-Palestine deplatform. That's not. I don't know why he keeps trying to push this narrative that Ethan caused everything. I don't think he did that. There's obviously tons of people watching these guys, so why does he keep trying to blame? You know that there's tons of people watching you guys, right? Why are you trying to blame Ethan? It doesn't make any sense.
Why? And that's you literally.
Why didn't you watch a bad episode about yourself?
Your own producers were begging you to stop talking about me, so much so that you had to set up a separate war room where you only talk about me. And that's what happened, right? Because you couldn't shut about it. Your fans were fucking going, Ethan, we get it.
My fans are fine, bro. Don't worry about my fans.
The entire time you framed this as though it's petty fucking drama.
It's not petty drama. You are deeply anti-Semitic, hateful, fucking propaganda liar.
And it only took you now.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah,
it is a genocide, but also.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with drama. This has everything to do of what you fucking spout on your fucking stream all the fucking time. Your fucking shithole ideology.
I've said that consistently for years, liar.
Ethan, you don't want anyone to resist against genocide. It is a fucking untenable position.
You mean kidnapping civilians?
No
You're so pathetic, bro. Please.
And you constantly keep smearing me as a fucking anti-Semite at a time when the Trump administration, at a time when the Trump administration is blackbagging people.
Yeah, that's happening. Don't call me out. That's happening.
Ethan has never. I mean, he probably swung it around as just for fun, but I don't think Ethan believes he's an anti-Semite. But the fact that he keeps spewing out lies and bullshit to try to prove his point, right? He makes shit up on the spot.
Call me out. That's what you're doing.
Dude, how do you not understand that you are playing a formative role when you don't talk about Mahmoud Khalil?
Just remember, everybody watching.
When you don't talk about the mass starvation of Gaza.
By the way, I advocated for Kamala to get elected. What'd you do? I told people to vote for Kamala. What'd you do?
Oh.
No, seriously. What'd you do?
Ethan,
did you?
Congratulations.
Do you think Kamala Trump would have been equally bad?
I won't change anything from Joe Biden's policies, Harris.
It's not Joe Biden, it's Kamala Harris.
Not only did I go to the DNC, but I actually offered some pretty fucking valuable criticism to the Democratic Party that they didn't listen to. Unfortunately,
they kick you out of the DNC?
They didn't listen to that valuable criticism. They lost. Why have you lied about me voting for Jill Stein, by the way? Wait, can we talk about that?
I don't know.
Why do you keep saying I voted for Jill Stein?
Who'd you vote for?
Countless hours shitting on Jill Stein.
I said I think you did.
Not to vote for Trump. I said that Donald Trump is significantly worse than Kamala Harris. And I've also, on top of that, called Jill Stein over and over and over again. But for some weird reason, despite the fact that I voted live, mind you,
and you didn't say who for.
And you kept lying to your audience.
I said I think.
Making it seem as though I didn't even fucking vote or urge people not to vote. There's never been a moment where I said do not vote.
Who did you vote for?
See, and this is where he always.
No problem.
No, I got no problem, but.
I mean, this is where he tries to ruin the stream at the end because he knows he lost, or he tries to right, because since this is the end of the stream, they're gonna throw whatever they can at each other now, right? I mean, this is Destiny's game plan too, all the time with debates on this online. It's funny, fucking the Hasan orbiter. Or the Destiny orbiter Hasan is now following in the footsteps of Destiny. What a bunch of faggots. Such frotogeny.
I think there's people in the audience that would.
You don't have a problem.
Why didn't you endorse her then?
Why do you keep saying I voted for Jill Stein?
I said I think because you didn't say who you voted for.
You think. Oh, you don't give a fuck, dude. It doesn't matter who I vote for anyway. You're out of your fucking mind. I did not endorse Kamala Harris, and I will never endorse Kamala Harris. And I did not endorse Joe Biden.
Trump's
president. You want to know why? Because you want to know why?
Trump's building the Riviera in Gaza Strip, and guess what? You fucking love that shit because you get to keep making content about it, and you get to keep making videos, and you guarantee there will never be peace there because you won't acknowledge the trauma of both sides. Two things must always be true.
How much content have you made about Donald Trump? How much content have you made about fucking Donald Trump? You literally defended his terrorist regime. What the fuck are you talking about? And you have to apologize because you're an embarrassing figure.
You can't fathom.
Listen to me. You
can't fathom that somebody says something wrong and come back and corrects it.
And all of the producers or all the people that are giving you fucking talking points is not going to make you come across as smart in this process. Please, for your own mental sanity, stop trying to do this. You are basically brain breaking a shit ton of people into idiotic positions. You clearly don't care about people who have actually voted for Donald Trump, considering your allegiance with people who have literally directly voted for Donald Trump.
Who's my allegiance? Who's my allegiance to?
What do you mean? You have fucking Trump supporters that you're friends with, like Steiny in general. When I have a conversation with him, I'm actually directly fucking addressing some of the shit.
Did you watch my interview with him? You fucking dipshit. Our entire conversation was me arguing with him.
Yeah, this is another thing that streamers try to do all the time. It's like, oh, you followed this person and you talk to this person occasionally, or on the it's like, what are you? They're just talking. I don't think they're friends. But so I guess so whoever you talk to on the internet is now your friend apparently. I don't I don't know if that does it work like that now. Guess it
does. By
Hasan standards.
Insanely
you're going out. You're playing poker with people who fuck.
I guess Hasan standards is I guess easygoing.
You were just on Steiny's podcast is not actually Trump coded.
I spent hours shitting on Steiny. You're just a liar.
Asmongold has been a valuable figure shitting on me this entire time, and that's the only reason why you act like he's not that significant of a force. That's it.
When did I say that?
You will take help from anyone and everyone.
And
no matter
all
what the
written by
background
Destiny,
is.
right?
You claim to care. You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're hyping up that dude is because you don't give a fuck. All you care about is petty drama. This is your only content. Stop doing petty drama content. Shut the fuck up about politics and get back to goofs and gabs.
So he does watch his content. Got him.
It will be fine. People will forget that you have behaved in this way, but you don't want to do that. It's become a fuck.
Hold on. Maybe I should record this one because he actually watches his content now, right? Yeah, I never understood why Hasan always tries to do this weird thing where he puts words in people's mouths. And it's like, dude, you didn't say that. It's funny because the funny thing is no one puts words in Hasan's mouth, right? All the words that he said all came from him. So everyone criticizing Hasan is because it all came from his own mouth himself. If he didn't just if he would just denounce the things he would say sometimes, it would, right? But no, he keeps defending just terrible acts of just dehumanizing shit. Basically, Hasan is a terrorist himself. He just doesn't want to act on his terrorist tendencies. Basically. Right? He's willing to spout the ideology, but he's not willing to put it into practice himself. Right? I mean, if he actually put it into practice in the United States, though, he'd be fucking right.
Who's my allegiance to?
What do you mean? What fucking Trump supporters are you friends with? Like Steiny in general. When I have a conversation with him, I'm actually directly fucking addressing something.
Did you watch my interview with him? You fucking dipshit. Our entire conversation was me arguing with him and telling him why Trump's bad and why transphobia is bad. You are insanely
You're going out. You're playing poker with people who fucking voted for Donald Trump. You're defending Asmongold. Asmongold is not actually Trump coded.
I spent hours shitting on Steiny. You're just a liar.
Asmongold has been a valuable figure shitting on me this entire time, and that's the only reason why you act like.
That's fun. Asmongold has tried. Well, look, I don't want to defend. Everyone has to defend themselves. No, I'm not sure. Every man for themselves. It's a free for all. Good luck. I think this is what it's coming down to. It's a free for all now. Everyone's out for themselves. Good luck.
People have directly voted for Donald Trump.
Who's my allegiance?
Okay?
Who's my allegiance to?
What do you mean? What fucking Trump supporters are you friends with? Like Steiny in general. When I have a conversation with him, I'm actually directly fucking addressing something.
Did you watch my interview with him? You fucking dipshit. Our entire conversation was me arguing with him and telling him why Trump's bad and why transphobia is bad. You are insanely
You're going out. You're playing poker with people who fucking voted for Donald Trump. You're defending Asmongold. Asmongold is not actually Trump coded.
I spent hours shitting on Steiny. You're just a liar.
Asmongold has been a valuable figure shitting on me this entire time, and that's the only reason why you act like he's not that significant of a force. That's it. You will take help from anyone.
There's the rat king.
You claim to care. You claim to care about rape,
called
and you're
out
hyping up
for
a
some
dude
reason.
who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're hyping up that dude is because you don't give a fuck. All you care about is petty drama. This is your only content. Stop doing petty drama content. Shut the fuck up about politics.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it'll be fine. People will forget that you have behaved in this way, but you don't want to do that. It's become a fucking personal agenda for you that people don't.
It's funny because he does the thing that like fucking Sam Hyde does sometimes, where he just brings in random people for some reason. See, he likes Sam Hyde. He takes shit out of Sam Hyde's book. I don't know why he doesn't talk to Sam Hyde in a.
Don't like you. It must be anti-Semitism. No, they don't like you because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you have to be baby.
It's
like
just hallucinations. Yes.
That's the reason why
I made
don't
it all
like
up. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Now, why don't you watch Van Panana's videos about you?
Because he's pro-Palestine, and I don't give a fuck about.
He was criticizing you.
Pro-Palestine, and I don't care about the difference in methods that we have.
All right, very good. I'm
at my depth. I should talk about the movement. And if you were pro-Palestine, I would never talk about you either. That's the real reason.
Uh-oh. Can you please contend with the Avi Schleim quote that they left not because of Zionism, but because they were afraid?
Dude, come on. Enough. You have Avi Schleim on the show. Talk to him about it, okay?
Sure,
Maybe it'll go down exactly like you.
He knows he will never answer that question because he knows he lost it.
thought with Sam Cedar.
That's why he will. That's why he will always do non-answers.
I genuinely do. I hate to say it because I like
Sam. A 40-year-old man who needs a fucking button when he has like a little Lucy moment is actually the one who's talking about Sam Cedar embarrassing himself.
Did I button during that debate?
He lowered himself to talk to you man to man and tried to explain what was going on.
That's what you asked for. Why would you want to lower his status? Why would you lower his status?
I thought you could be convinced. I didn't realize you were this fucking drama obsessed.
Drama obsessed. We had an argument about fucking South Africa apartheid. What's drama about that?
What?
You're fucking dude. Listen,
I can't hear what you said. What did you say?
It doesn't matter. Just remember, when it comes to criticism, I watch it.
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was actually peaceful because you're gonna clip ship the fucking shit that Loner Box told you.
Why was
you're gonna say the violent things that the ANC did were in the Truth and Reconciliation Committee attributed to.
Hasan, how many civilians died in 20 years in the ANC during the ANC's?
It was like 200, I think.
Less than 100. How many people did Hamas kill on one day? Nelson Mandela, which I'll read you a quote from his trial. Are you comparing the apartheid structure in South Africa to 76 years of colonial occupation? Don't you do that all the time?
No, the numbers are larger, and the militancy has gotten far more radical as a direct consequence of Israel becoming far more radical. Because, as I told you, and you seemingly understood when we first had this conversation after October 7, that the maintenance of an apartheid is an inherently violent endeavor. And as a matter of fact, the resistance to said apartheid is only going to get worse and worse as time moves on. This is precisely the reason why the first intifada was talking about. You're bringing random shit up, and the second intifada, in the aftermath of horrific acts of terror,
let me read you.
Palestinians were at a mosque praying.
I actually have facts. I have a historical quote. I'm not just grandstanding. Mandela, from his trial in 1960, said, and I quote, "There were 4 forms of violence that were possible. One was sabotage, one was guerrilla warfare, one was terrorism, and then there was open revolution. We chose to adopt the first method as it exhausted it before taking any other decision. In light of our political background, the choice was a logical one. Sabotage did not involve loss of life, and it offered the best hope for future race relations. Bitterness would be kept minimum, and if a policy bore fruit, democratic government could become a reality. This is what we felt at the time, and this is what we said in our manifesto. We have always sought to achieve liberation without bloodshed and civil clash. We hope, even at this late hour, that our first actions will awaken everyone to the realization that the disastrous situation which the nationalist policy is leading. We hope that we will bring the government and its supporters to their senses before it's too late, so that both the government and its policies can be changed before matters reach the desperate state of war."
Notice how the end part of that is getting ready for rebellion.
Did they?
I feel like with yeah, because the apartheid structure dissolved as a direct consequence of pressure campaigns and also militancy, which Nelson Mandela, not once, but twice,
what's Hamas doing for liberation?
Of having a sentence commuted, which he refused to do. They said,
on principle,
Mandela,
bro.
if you disavow violence,
principle. He said, "I will not remain in jail because a prisoner can't negotiate. A prisoner can't decide."
Yes, that was
he
the first
said
time.
no both times. He refused on principle. Less than 100 people died during the 20-year period. Anyone that attacked civilians, they were disavowed. The ANC repeatedly apologized and disavowed violence against civilians.
When did they do that?
Less than 100 civilians died.
When did
Hamas killed 1,000 civilians on one fucking day.
1,000 civilians?
Yeah.
The poor civilian Israeli soldiers that died in their military bases.
There was like, bro,
this is where. So what actually happened? It was like 800 that actually passed. I mean, regardless of the number, people still died. Still a horrific thing.
I'm so dumb.
Okay, how many civilians died? How many civilians died?
I believe the total number of casualties on October 7 was 1,200, with 800 being civilians, which is completely unacceptable.
Oh my God, I'm off by 100. I was off by 100. Oh my God, dude, I can't believe the historical inaccuracies.
Well, you're the one who's bringing up numbers here, Ethan. And yes, I do think it's important to recognize something here that you are seemingly failing to recognize.
I don't know. Yeah, the whole number, regardless of the number, right? You're still killing civilians. Like, what the fuck? Stop that. Yeah. That's war crimes, literally. As soon as you do that, that is war crimes.
The reason why he stayed in fucking prison was because he refused to disavow violence. Because he understood that as long as peaceful revolution is impossible, violent revolution is inevitable.
Yeah, and I never said he's a
revolution they did do.
You know what's funny?
In terms of the death and destruction on the apartheid structure, by the way, it is incomprehensible to compare that to Israel's violence against the Palestinians. What Israel has done to the Palestinians is far worse. And by the way, that's not my assessment. What Israel has done to the Palestinians for the past 76 years is infinitely worse.
Well, let's ask someone that lived through apartheid.
By the way, that is the assessment of Mandela. And for all the for all of the moments that he was able to
Mandela said what's happening is worse than what we went through? That's bullshit. Why would you say that? That's not your lie.
Why would you say that? Because it's true, Ethan. Okay. That's why.
Is Nelson Mandela a Zionist?
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Are you going to say in 1999 he said Israel has a legal right to exist?
In that same fucking clip, remember that you called this guy a neo-Nazi, not fit to be a dog catcher. That's what you said about Nelson Mandela.
What are you talking about? Whoa, you're jumping off like a million different points.
The right of Israel to exist as a state, legally.
The right of Islam.
We have stood quite openly and firmly for the right of that state to exist within secure borders.
You disagree with that statement?
Israel has a right to exist, not in the way that it currently does.
With insecure borders.
Hold on.
Coward.
Do you know what he says after that clip?
Yeah, that he also thinks that Palestinians also need to be acknowledged. Which, by the way, is my fucking point.
No, not that.
Palestinian liberation and Israeli borders are two sides of the same coin.
He didn't just say Palestinians also need to be acknowledged. He says that if peaceful means of coexistence is impossible, then violence is inevitable, Ethan. Why did you clip that out of the fucking clip chimp that you posted, Ethan?
Did you say that clip chimp Nelson Mandela?
Yes, you literally did. You cut him out of context.
No, he's a Zionist. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't think it matters if you finish the quote or not.
Nelson Mandela And whether or not
I mean, we all know who Nelson Mandela is.
Whether or not he actually believes in violence. You have said time and time again that he was a peaceful dove. He's never actually done any violence whatsoever. There are numerous instances
Inevitability, a philosophical warning is not an endorsement. He was speaking as a warning to them, which was apt.
Brother, that is insane.
What?
Nelson Mandela was literally on a terror watch list since 2008.
Who gives a fuck?
What do you mean who gives a fuck? You like to use the terrorism watches when you're talking about the Houthis, or you like to use the terrorist watches when you're talking about Hezbollah.
I gave you specific examples of why those organizations are bad.
Who do you think the philosophical point that he was making? The guy who was in prison for violent resistance, by the way, who trained
violent resistance, you mean sabotage.
Rebellion, by the way.
Sabotage
who do you think
government
that was a warning to? Do you think that was a warning to Palestinians, or do you think that was a warning to Israel? Because that same Nelson Mandela has time and time again also repeated that no one is free until Palestine is free. That same Nelson Mandela that you're trying to fucking use in this situation has said that this is a united struggle, that Israel's actions against the Palestinians are abhorrent, that it is akin to what they have experienced in apartheid South Africa, if not worse. So the idea that you can make this comparison because you can suit your fucking argument is so stupid. And the only way you can do that is by cutting it out of context.
No, I just explained why. Dude, I want Palestine to be free. But you know what? I don't think Hamas is furthering that goal. I think Hamas is counterproductive. They're making it worse. They're causing it to be inevitable. You refuse to criticize them, which is pathetic. Unlike me, I'm willing to criticize Israel. I'm willing to come to terms with the cruel reality. Hamas.
Walk through it. Why are they making it worse?
Well, what was the fucking objective there on October 7th, genius?
Kidnapping, which by the way I don't even agree with, which is the international human rights violation. But kidnapping Israeli soldiers, Israeli civilians to make to
yeah, but you still defend the. Okay, you said that. Then why didn't you say that in the first place? You never, out of this whole thing, you never once denounced right, the killing of people, right, civilians, the rape of people, right? You never once denounced that shit.
Ethan, I don't agree with the tactics. You know this already. We're not relitigating this over and over again.
I'm just saying,
after 17 months of fucking genocide, okay? What do you think? What do you think?
One day you're going to watch a video response I make. Okay.
Probably not, when you apologize for all the fucking harm that you've done.
Apologize? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Listen.
I have the rest of the clip that you by the way, if you want to hear his actual fucking
full opinion. For all the harm that... Bro, you're on the same plane, brother. What the fuck are you talking about, Hasan? Stop trying to shift the blame, brother.
Hiding from it. I literally acknowledge what he said. I don't care.
It's okay to lose.
Why did you say that was actually a peaceful?
It's okay to lose, man.
When the fuck did I say that, liar?
You said it on numerous occasions as opposed to... You said that on numerous occasions.
And you've been so high up your fucking ass, you think you can't fucking lose? Wow.
Will you stop talking if I show you numerous instances where you have said Nelson Mandela was peaceful?
I'm not going to... You get those together, okay?
I mean,
You're going to do great. You're going to do great. Yeah, go ahead.
You literally said he was a pacifist.
I literally never said Nelson Mandela was a pacifist. That is an insane lie.
You said it to Sam Cedar 2 days ago.
So you got to watch that back because you're, once again, a liar. You have no problem lying. You have no problem saying that I work with the ADL without any evidence. You fucking have no problem discrediting the suffering of Jewish refugees.
Nelson Mandela is a pacifist.
Okay, well, prove it.
And the full quote, by the way, of Nelson Mandela is from when he visited Gaza in 1999 that was referring to choose peace rather than confrontation, except in cases where we cannot.
Yeah, it's like
if the only alternative is violence,
he tries to blame Ethan for something he didn't say, and then he moves on to it's just expository information.
I meant that he didn't kill civilians. His approach is vastly different than what Hamas is doing.
Do you think Nelson Mandela would like what the Houthis are doing?
I don't know. Let's fucking dig him out of his grave and ask him.
That's kind of weird because, I mean, you said he was doing peaceful means.
Do I think Nelson Mandela would be in favor of kidnapping 10 civilians? No, of course not.
Yes, he would. 100%.
All right, well, while you're busy putting words in a dead man's mouth.
100% he would. What are you talking about? Nelson Mandela bombed the fucking church and shit. What are you talking about? Not Nelson Mandela directly in prison, but
fuck with civilians, bro. That was his thing. He wanted to be as peaceful as possible because he knew that if he killed and targeted civilians, it would make reunification impossible.
You're right.
That's
doing it historical fact. Palestinians are not resisting.
Less than 100 civilians died in a 20-year period. I mean, what do you want more than that? Hamas killed 1,000 or 900. So sorry.
800. But
I am so 800. You're right. You know what? That's better.
It's seemingly you're always bringing up numbers. Now, what you again fail to recognize is, of course, the length. And not only that, but also the resistance against apartheid South Africa included military resistance on top of that. But that's not even my point here, okay? My point is that the apartheid in South Africa and the resistance against it was a far shorter period with far less casualties on the South African side as opposed to Israel's complete ethnic cleansing campaign that has started now, but even before its ethnic cleansing campaign.
Don't compare Hamas to Nelson Mandela.
Because the situation is far worse, Ethan. Because Israel has killed every Nelson Mandela. Israel would have probably killed Nelson Mandela if they had the opportunity to do so.
I'm sure they would have done everything bad that ever happened in the world.
Wait, do you know why I said that? No, don't look at your laptop. Do you know why I said that?
Let me guess. Tell me.
No, go ahead. Just throw up a guess.
All right, listen, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not doing this, okay? You can tell me or you cannot. You want to? I'll stand here if you want to tell me, but I'm not going to sit here and play rhetorical games.
Israel was aligned with South Africa, the apartheid government.
Yeah, I know. They had nuclear bombs with them. It's horrible.
Yeah.
What's that have to do with anything? Fuckhead. Yeah. When did I defend that?
Well, they're both apartheids, so.
Yeah, and when did I deny that? All right, listen, it's 5 o'clock. Like I said, I have a family to go to. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I know that you have a fucking cool-ass race car bed to sleep in, and I hope you enjoy that.
Okay, man. Thank you. Have a good one. I hope this was productive. Dan, he needs you more than you need him. Stop babying this man, please. He needs you more.
Yeah, and then he starts attacking the production crew for some reason.
Then you need him. Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on. Okay. All right.
You want to target the crew more?
I'm not targeting the crew. These were my coworkers. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the crew.
Hey, that would not call AB a house slave.
What?
Bad empanada called AB a house slave.
Yeah, he's wrong. What the fuck do you want?
Okay, well, you watch his videos a
Why are you
lot.
bringing up bad empanada? Do you think I agree with everything he says? No, of course
You
not.
endorse him.
Ethan,
All
I
right,
endorse
we
his
gotta go. You promote him
YouTube
all the
video
time. That's a
essays that
fact.
I agree with, that I think are very well thought out.
All right,
I don't
listen, stop
endorse his
being a coward and
techniques or
watch
methods
some
or opinions
criticism.
overall.
Please stop being a coward and just watch some criticism. It will prove
Yeah.
that you're
Well,
not
this was
afraid.
pretty good. This was pretty productive. You know, having this conversation, having this back and forth. Don't you think?
I actually do.
you-
I think you exposed yourself deeply a few times here, and I think we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how this pans out.
Yeah.
But I do think it was productive to show just kind of the blatant, overt, anti-Semitism.
Maybe I will watch the context puke.
Yes, please, and then we can talk
Maybe
about
I
it.
will watch context puke live, as a matter of
Yes,
fact,
please
not in a
do.
cowardly way. I like that this is what it's come to, where having a face-to-face conversation is less. Is somehow
It's not even a
more cowardly than
face-to-face
actually watching a YouTube
conversation. You're in your own house. Like what?
that you made. No, dude. What's cowardly is you fucking constantly crying and refusing to actually look for context.
What? Look for what is he talking about? See, now he's just trying to discredit the whole video because it's at the end of the show, and this is his only fallback plan. I think Destiny does this too sometimes. Fucking weird. I don't know why. See, this is why debates on the online space are weird, because there's no real substance. It's just two people shit-slinging at each other.
Putting together shit that you saw on fucking subreddits to be like, this is my argument, I'm destroying him.
Watch it and tear it up and show how out of context it was. I love that.
Don't worry. Maybe I'll actually do that to fundraise for the charities that you are actively targeting by trying to undermine and celebrate with Creator Clash 3, which is,
I don't know if you know this, but last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity.
I know, you fucking hate everybody that has even lightly fucking criticized you or stayed out of.
Are you surprised that I didn't like Ian's video?
What? No, dude.
Dude, if you want to own me, listen, Hasan, if you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's
you're
fantastic.
gloating that a fucking charity event is actually like you're trying to undermine a charity event.
You have to give money to be charity.
See, that's another thing. See, Hasan tries to shield himself by using right cause. I've noticed a lot of people do this, and it's fucking weird. Politicians do the same thing. Don't fucking do that. You sound like a fucking scumbag. And fucking Hasan just sounds like a fucking scumbag.
It's like a slush fund for them.
God, it's so gross, man.
I mean, what happened last year? How much did they do charity last year?
I don't know.
They lost $250,000.
Will you debate me again, Ethan, if you keep chirping in the future?
Yeah, of course. But if you, I think it would be good if you watch context puke,
and then we
can discuss it.
Maybe I'll do that to fundraise for Creator Clash.
Yes, I think it's awesome. If you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, maybe you should do that too. Donate some pro-Palestinian charities. I'll feel so fucking owned.
Let's own each other and donate to charity.
All right.
I know you guys
Bye,
I know you guys hate each other, but the views were crazy.
It was?
I'm
I never
just
looked.
saying, think about it.
What was the views? I never looked.
They're pretty good on both ends, like 100K.
Whose was higher?
Don't ask that question.
Hasan's was higher?
Yeah, probably.
Not by much, but it was higher.
That's not good. We got to do something.
I mean, I had 120,000. I don't know what you guys had over there. I wasn't looking, but
we got up to about 100K. So
well, we're gonna have to do something. These people are clearly have some kind of brain disease, and we need to do something about it.
No, for sure. Ethan, please keep up the energy as though you feel that there is a genocide going on, because your output is what matters here, and that is what I was trying to get across to you and get across to your audience. If you think that
I acknowledge that I acknowledge that I can talk about it more, and I should make more of an effort to talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Instead of going after
you should try not to be a fucking raging anti-Semite for a day.
What?
If you can try not to be a raging anti-Semite for a day, then we can shake hands.
Ethan, I don't think you actually believe that I'm anti-Semitic. I think you're.
You should watch back the first part of this interview.
What?
You should watch back the first part of this interview.
I don't think that makes you look good.
Okay, well, I guess we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, I think your people are going to think it makes you look good, and then everybody else is going to think it might look good. Like, who's a fuck? At the end of the day,
I'm sure.
It's not a swastika. It's just the swastika sword. It's not a swastika. It's just the sword that I call the swastika sword. Got it. All right, have a good night. I gotta go.
You too, buddy.
You take care, buddy.
He's just making a joke. I'm pretty sure he's just making a funny joke there because he knows iDubbbz probably fucking had some hand, mostly in that. He's the one that made
old friends together at last.
Bye, Hasan.
Give Kaya our love. Give Kaya our love.
Yeah, we also love Kaya.
Oh my God, what a fucking train wreck. I was hoping that. I shouldn't have hoped that he would have been more open to listening, but I guess that's what it was meant to be.
Idiot, what idiot?
I'm so tired.
How long was that going on for?
4 hours. We're going on 5 hours here.
Was I owned?
I need to process everything that just happened. My head's spinning.
Another fucking fever dream.
I was trying to lose at the end tail. That's like, dude, I can't.
I could tell you were fading a little bit.
I think I got him. Honestly, I think I got him pretty good. The way that he was like denying obvious, blatant shit and being like, no, that's not. No, you're insane. You're hallucinating it. It's like, bro, that's crazy talk. I also liked how he was like, whatever. People will analyze this.
Yeah, I'd say both sides got the clips they wanted. That's kind
of the thing, right? Is like anything. Both sides declare victory, and nothing really changes. So
yeah, exactly.
Just keep doing it because the views are great, right, Hasan? Hasan's got to eat.
I'm just saying.
He's got to pay. He's got to pay for that chicken and someone to make it for him too.
I mean, it's true.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching.
Right?
Thank you to the awesome,
loyal,
genius.
Right, being racist and all that shit, spouting murderous ideology,
and,
right?
I don't know if that was what y'all wanted, but it is what it is.
What people want.
I want.
Right?
Damn,
they want the blood sports.
Would you stop babying me, Dan?
But no one's willing to actually kill people. That's funny.
Tried it.
They're willing to
Have a good
talk
night.
shit
Good
at
luck
each
to the
other
evening.
verbally, but they're not willing to
That's all for now. We'll
actually
see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend. And baby,
get down in the trenches. I don't know. A little weird. Alright, we finally watched all of it. Jesus Christ. There we have it. Content. Puke. Alright, let me get... I need to take a break, because I need to pee, because I was, like, holding it in. We'll check out some... Apparently, iDubbbz made some fucking stupid video again after. I don't know why. I don't know why he just doesn't shut the fuck up. He keeps shooting himself in the foot. Okay, sorry. Aiden Ross asked Mr. Beast if he could.
Can we go get a...
Hold, I'm sorry, Mr. Beast. I'm sorry, this isn't real. Please, this is insane. Hold on. Where is it? Mr.
There's got to be a way with these new technology. Let's ask Mr. Beast. Hey, Mr. Beast, if you're watching, can you please help Charleston White see again, bro? Can we do some curing of his eye?
Yeah, can we go get an eye transplant?
Please?
Mr. Beast eye trans.
How does it work?
How does it work? What a dumbass. As usual.